Emerson gonna clear Mayato. Not gonna go low. He's gonna try and fake the 48. Travato using the inside lane. Mayato now up half a groove. The second position looks for his first race win. Oh, hard contact. Mayato up in the air, up on the hood, on top of the Geico machine. All over his back bumper. He's gonna have to be very tactical with his moves. Oh, and hard under braking. Travato nearly locked it up there. St. Barrett, big slide out of turn number 1. Comes Chris Samar, Kevin Cornelius. They're going to make a charge in the third lane. Is it too little, too late? Are they going to have the run out of turn number 4? Mark Emerson down low. They're all going to wreck. Dennis Fairclough in the lead right now. Here comes Nick Gardner. Hello and welcome to the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series live tonight from Kentucky Speedway for the Butts Mobile Home Park 225. 150 laps, 225 miles here tonight for race number 3 of the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series. Tonight, I'm joined in the booth by Alec Martinez. Alec, looking forward to a good one here tonight.
Yes, sir. We are. We're at the old Kentucky Motor Speedway. It's been a while since we've been here in the actual Cup Series. But it's good to get these next-gen cars on their first mile and a half of the year and seeing how they race with each other and how everybody else races with them. But after the first next-gen race this past weekend at the Coliseum, and now for us our third race with the next-gen car. So I'm looking forward to this race. You never know. It's so unpredictable that what we've seen so far in the season. You know, 2 different winners, 2 different races, and looking forward to seeing if we can get a third different winner in 3 different races.
Yeah, Zach Carr dominating fashion, won last week at Milwaukee, and the opening race of the season that saw AJ Travato go to victory lane for that one. So yeah, looking to see if we can get our third different winner of the season, race number 3. And this is the first mile and a half racetrack. Seth Hatchell was so good on those last season and ended up winning the championship at Atlanta, the last race of the season. And he was very, very strong, though. He a guy to watch out for. You were saying his name before the broadcast. He was fastest practice session on that number 8, Seth Hatchell, to maybe go get that checkered flag tonight. Of course, we do want to give a shout out once again to Butts Mobile Home Park, sponsor of tonight's race. About them, just type in their name on Google. They have listing there. Learn more about housing. I want to thank them for sponsoring tonight's race.
For sure, for sure.
Up the qualifying tickers, drivers do get onto racetrack. And it looks like drivers just getting up to speed right now. Chris Samard goes across the line, but already topped by Kyle McGarvey. Now Eric Lambert going to the top of the board. Eric was in chat here just a minute ago, the U.S. Air Force number 19 machine tonight. Reggie Ortega now, right to the Seth Hatchell. There he is, right to the pole. 5/1000ths faster than Ortega on lap number 1. Can he pick it up here on lap number 2? That car last week winner, he goes 5th fastest on lap 1. Samard now back at the top.
Goes to 3rd, or he's 3rd at the moment. Now back to 4th. Ortega jumps up to 2nd. And to the line, Hatchell.
Oh, is gonna go fastest.
To the top.
Yeah, just 32,000 faster. Yeah. Oh, there goes
Zach Carr beats him. Zach Carr beats him.
Zach trying to get back to that dominating form that he had last season, and he showed it last week, and he can start on the pole here tonight. It is a $3 bonus for him, so that's not a bad little deal there. As,
yeah, no.
He's still working around the racetrack trying to get some more laps in.
Yeah, nothing better than getting a pole and a little prize to go along with it. Good lap by Zach Carr. And, you know, we've seen here in the Cup Series and even, you know, in real life when they were racing here back in 2020, 2019, and before that, track position means a lot here at this track. Obviously, it has a smoother surface. when it was repaved back in 2016. So a lot more of a smoother surface to kind of, I guess, as they say, I mean, Kentucky was, I think, 20 years old when they repaved it. So, you know, it's an old track, but now it's back to smooth, flat surface, a lot of grip in these corners. But also with these next-gen cars, a lot more on edge, fast but on edge. And it's going to be something to watch out tonight when we have guys racing and battling for position.
Yeah, we even saw that at the Coliseum the other day. Drivers just slipping and sliding. It was a lot of fun, even at those low speeds. I think we're in for a treat, hopefully, this season, as long as they don't run out of race cars.
Yeah, that would not be good.
Yeah, I mean, after the way things went in some of those heat races, the last chance qualifiers, I wasn't sure there were going to be too many remaining, you know, in the team's garages after that.
For sure, yeah. Good thing they got everything kind of, you know, the main race is pretty calm, and for what the LCQs were, but yeah, and I think the best thing with these cars, I mean, in iRacing you can kind of see it and kind of not, but these cars can take a hit. I don't know about the suspensions, what we saw with Ryan Blaney hitting the wall off turn 2 at the Coliseum after contact with Eric Jones, but these cars can take a hit, and these bumpers are pretty dang sturdy. And you saw these guys on Sunday hitting each other as hard as they could, using each other as brakes, as they would say, going into the corners. So it's gonna be interesting to see what we have here. Like I said, way faster, so you might not want to hit people as much here. But I'm really looking forward to this race and seeing how these cars are gonna race here. Every track we go to with these new cars, it's a different animal, as they would say.
Yeah, entirely different this week from last. Milwaukee Mile being a pretty much flat 1 mile racetrack. This Kentucky being one of the lower banked 1.5 mile racetracks. Definitely more challenging than many of the others. It has not been one of my favorites, but it can be very fun if you're racing side by side hard with drivers. But getting down into, I think it's turn number 3 that a lot of drivers struggle with, but to also load up into turn number 1. A bit flatter, that can be very, very tricky. A lot of drivers probably going to head to that inside lane as that car finally pulls it onto pit to wrap up his time here in qualifying. Currently the provisional pole sitter. The drivers enter into their meeting. Let's take a look at the weather real quick. Tonight, 79-degree track temp, 77-degree air temp, so not going to be too hot out there. Plenty of grip for the Next Gen Cup cars. Forward to getting things going here in just a few moments, but let's hear from our sponsors, and we will be right back with your starting grid.
Welcome to V-Speed, your home for sim racing excitement, providing dramatic moments from iRacing and beyond. We offer broadcasting for leagues across iRacing and specialized packages to help grow your league and advertise your sponsors.
I think, and right now Stravato with that advantage. It's half a car length the difference between first and second going into turn 1. He gives the bumper to Connor Horn.
These two have gone all year to get to this point. Jacob Shorba drifting up the racetrack. They make contact. The 88 goes around. The 95 goes around. The 12 caught in it.
Our design team can help you create anything from paint schemes to sim rig parts with expertise in both 2D and 3D design with 3D printing capabilities. Looking to get into broadcasting yourself? We can help you design and operate custom overlays to make your stream look as professional as possible. Our team can create and manage custom merchandise sales for you and your team. Check out our shop to see what we have in stock and how we can create some awesome merch for you. Check out our race replays on YouTube or catch us live weekly on Twitch. Visit us at vspeedsim.com to see how we can help you on your iRacing journey.
Back at the racetrack now, about to get going with our starting grid for tonight's race. Zach Carr is your pole sitter here at Kentucky Speedway. Check out our starting lineup for tonight's race. The Butts Mobile Home Park 225. Rolling off from the front row, Zach Carr, the number 27, going to be starting up there on the top spot after winning last week at Milwaukee. He'll be joined alongside by Seth Hatchell, the number 8 machine, rolling off from the second position. Starting from third tonight, Keith Mayato, the 36, looking to get back on track here this evening. Chris Samard going to be rolling off the 4th spot. Starting in 5th, Eric Hutton. Rolling off 6th is going to be Ryan Gemmel. Starting in the 7th position tonight, James Loveland. Isaiah Vincent going to be starting from the spot. Starting in 9th, Reggie Ortega. And rounding out the top 10, Jeremy Stanley.
And starting 11th, a little bit of a poor qualifying effort for AJ Stravato. He'll be rolling off 11th. Miles Morris in 12th. Jeremiah Vincent 13th. Kenny Bishop 14th. Eric Lambert will be rolling off 15th in that beautiful U.S. Air Force Toyota Camry. Angelo Ronis will be rolling off 16th. Kyle McGarvey in 17th. Kevin McGarvey, his brother, rolling off in 18th. Dennis Faircloth rolling up 19th. And Lyle Sofridge will start 20th.
In 21st tonight, it'll be Lane Sulford, 71. Timmy Emanuele, 22nd. 23rd, Dennis Steele. 24th, Eric Gallion. 25th is going to be Dallas Sullivan. 26th, Jeremy Clapper Newell. 27th, Alan Dice. Dustin Logston. 9th is going to be Scott Martin. 67 machine. Zach Smith rolling off from 30th position here tonight. Thomas Brendel starting 31st. Robert Gilmore rounding out 32 here tonight from Kentucky Speedway. A good size field, and good to see somebody still out here. Race number 3 of this season. Good one.
Yes, sir. I'm looking forward to this.
Sure. As the field gets rolling off of pit road, are the Bernie Lytics machine going to look and try and take that?
Oh, Eric Hutton! Eric Hutton has spun around!
Guess we got to go to the replay already here. Just rolling off of pit road.
Trying to miss the inside wall, and it... Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, he almost caught it and then looped it.
A little bit of action before the race even gets started. Well, his tires aren't too hurt after that, but yeah.
I wonder what he was trying to do. Maybe warm the tires
Trying to
up.
warm up the tires, it looked like, and obviously being cold and sitting there for a little bit, it kind of probably tried to get them warm, and they didn't grip and on that concrete and just spun around. But no harm, no foul. We're all good there. Good thing everybody missed him. Get off to an interesting start already.
Yeah, that is not what you'd expect, especially from a driver with the talent of Eric Hutton. Just, yeah, not something you generally see from him, but you know, he's all good, and we're continue on here as it will be the Bernie Lytics machine alongside Team Seth Hatchell to get us going here tonight. Race number 3 of the season, the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series, Kentucky Speedway. Field works out of turn number 4. Waiting for the flag man. There it is, green flag in the air. We're off and away from Kentucky.
Good jump by Zach Carr. Now the V-Speed teammates of Keith Miato and Seth Hatchell are going to go side by side for second as they roll through 1 and 2.
Fighting for that second position. Looks like Miato is going to take it away from Hatchell straight away. And as we work down the backstretch, no issues so far. Still side by side, Eric Hutton and Chris Samard.
Gemmel gets skipped by Morris. Bolt to the wall. Gemmel tries to save it. He turns around middle of the track, and he gets hit.
Oh my goodness, nobody's hit him too hard though. That was so close for Ryan Gemmel. That could have been night over. He does have quite a bit of damage, but we do get a caution here on lap number 1. Not what I was expecting to see after we made it through turns 1 and 2 pretty cleanly there, but Gemmel goes around.
You know, we were talking about it, is these guys, turn 3 has been the calamity corner, and we see here on the replay, it seems like Miles Morris drives it in too deep and hits the back end of the 6, and they both go up in the wall. And Gemmel's just trying to save it, and he just can't, and then, oh man, close, but I think that was Kevin McGarvey almost to get into him, but near miss.
Wow, that's as close as it gets right there. Inches separating the 77 of Kevin McGarvey from Ryan Gemmel as they live to tell the tale. And Gemmel's going to bring it on the pit road here and get some of that damage repaired. I think that was the 31 of Miles Morse would also bring it in, but he's going to elect to stay on the racetrack.
He does
Zach
a little,
Smith.
maybe just topping off on field here with some of the guys that weren't involved, but just look like Miles Morse has a lot of front end damage, but I mean, at the Coliseum, these guys are beating the heck out of each other going into the corners, so we'll be curious to see how his car holds up being up in traffic. But Ryan Gemmel, he does have a significant amount of right side damage. I'll be curious to see how much damage he has. Oh, Lyle Sofridge got up into the wall as well. Let's see if these.
Trying to see where he got that right side damage, and that's where it was. Just trying to avoid the wreck. Nowhere to go except basically into the wall.
Yeah, he's trying to miss the
there.
four car. Yeah, four car Kenny Bishop, but good avoidance. I'm sure Kenny Bishop's thanking Lyle Sofridge for not getting into him there, but yeah, I know Lyle's got some right side damage along with Ryan Gemmel. Curious to see how these composite bodies hold up with aero damage. Obviously, mile and a halfs are very aero dependent, but we're not really sure how these cars are with these composite bodies. So I'm curious to see if Ryan Gemmel and Lyle Sofridge can get some more spots after losing some off that first start.
Yeah, definitely gonna have to see how that affects the aerodynamics of that race car. Gonna be very important here tonight, and I'm sure Gemmel not too happy after starting up there in 6th. He finds himself currently last position as Miles Morse gonna be sent to the rear for causing that one. Gonna have to work from the back, right next to the guy he sent up into the wall. So that could get pretty tense back there.
Yeah, I'm sure Mr. Gimmel's not too pleased with 31. But early in the race, still plenty of laps to recover, and still got about 140-something laps to go. So, you know, plenty of time for these guys to recover after that damage, get their damage fixed. And also want to point out, I just noticed this, but the rear end spoilers are way too big. But the cars don't drive like that. The cars are actually coated in iRacing with what's going to be the 4-inch spoiler and window slits in the window duct in the front windshield. But hasn't been, I guess, graphically updated in iRacing, but not bad. Not bad. It's all good, though. I'm sure we'll get that going probably after the March update. And we'll probably have that for probably the 5th or 6th race of the season. But yeah, the big spoilers, thank goodness, are no longer on these cars anymore in real life. So that's a plus, except Daytona. But we're about to go back to green here. Zach Carr and Keith Miata are the front row.
Yeah, Hatchell got shuffled back to 3rd, and Eric Hutton worked his way up 4th. Green flag back in the air. Early jump there for the 27. Big tire spin from AJ Stravato, who jumped out of line for a moment, but got back in line behind Reggie Ortega. The field, though, working side by side down into turn 1. But out in front, Zach Carr by about 6 car lengths over Keith Miato side by side. Hutton and Hatchell fighting for 3rd position. They work their way down the backstretch once again. Dennis Faircloth getting a bit squirrely out of turn 2.
Going into turn 3 again. Everybody trying to give a little bit of room, give and take here. Early in the race, no real contact. We got one car in the back. Jeremy Clapper Newell around, saves it, keeps it out of the wall, keeps out of everybody's way, and able to save it. A great save by the 95.
See what happened here to him, racing alongside Ryan Gemmel. And right there behind Zach Smith, the one machine. Oh, he gets on the apron. Yeah, you don't want to do that, but great job hanging on to that race car. Look at that. Drifting there out of turn number 4.
Good save. Good job by everybody missing him, really. See, I think AJ Stravato had a moment coming off of 2, or in the middle of 1 and 2, and Dallas Sullivan having a moment off of 4.
So
Tires are cold.
Yeah, these cars are not sticking just yet, but I'm sure after a few laps here as we get really rolling at full pace, these guys will find their groove and the cars will start to handle a little bit better. But battle for 3rd, actually going on now with battle for 2nd. Eric Hutton, who is working his way forward. Eric usually very strong at all kinds of racetracks. Must be taking a liking to this next gen car after losing it on pit road there.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you have little mistakes and they tend to get you fired up and trying to capitalize and not make it look as bad. So, good fight from Eric Hutton. He's trying to pull back the 36 on the straightaway. There's a little bit of side draft with these cars and trying to work over Keith Miata and trying to not let Zach Carr build a big enough gap to where he's going to be untouchable at the end of this run.
Yeah, side by side right now. Looks like Miato's going to keep that position out of turn number 4. Hutton will settle for third. Yeah, a little farther back, that is Reggie Ortega, James Loveland fighting for position 7th and 8th. As Loveland working around the high side there for Team Red Speed. Trying to keep Reggie pinched down a little bit, but plenty of room given. And they still work down the backstretch side by side. Angelo Ronas starting to close in as they do so. And then Jeremiah Vincent right there in the top 10. Eric Hutton. Issues for Hutton. He went wide there. Almost caught the wall, I think. I saw him very wide. Maybe contact with
it out of the wall.
Hatchell? Oh, just loses the back end all on his own in the middle of the corner. But
good save.
Took right off. He gets passed up now by Chris Samard and also Seth Hatchell now fighting to keep 5th. Trying to hold off Jeremy Stanley here.
And Stanley gets up to that inside of that 88 Chevrolet Camaro, and you can see kind of stalling each other out, and the guy behind them, which is James Loveland's going to get a little bit of a run on them as they go side by side into turn 1. Hutton able to have the advantage, pin down that 60 car and see, but the 60 fights back on that inside. So they're still side by side off the 2 and down the backstretch.
Yeah, battling for the 5th position as the top 4 strung out. Pretty good distance between each of those machines, but look at that. Hutton once again squirrely. Same thing as before, and he's going to lose the spot now to James Loveland, who's going to get a push here. Yeah, he's going to get freight trained here out of turn number 4, and man, he was working forward, and now just going the wrong direction.
Oh, caution. On the track.
40 of Robert Gilmore involved, as well as Thomas Brendel. I think
34 and Zach Smith bringing it down pit road as well.
Jeremy Clapper Newell going through the grass right there as we cut to him, so he just avoided it, I believe. But let's go take a look here at what happened.
Interesting.
That was the one of Zach Smith who had some problems. He's
Already
already loose. Coming back on the racetrack, Robert goes
Gilmore
right into
him, and hard contact with the 34 car, and I think Clapper Newell just missed both of them.
Oh yeah, so Robert was getting loose right there and had nowhere to go, and then yeah, he just gets rear-ended. So
what a hit.
Clapper Newell just goes around it and through the grass. That's got to be an interesting ride. You don't know how the car is going to react. I think they actually have modeled in the undercarriage damage well running through the grass like that. But
oh man, hard hit by Robert Gilmore. Yeah, I think Gilmore's trying to miss it, maybe trying to get the car out wide, and these cars tend to snap easier, and they're a lot harder to correct after once they get a little bit squirrely from it. So it just seems like he got a little bit loose and right into the back of him, and then just nowhere for Thomas Brendel to go.
They stay on the racetrack. It does look like Zach Smith brought it in to try and get some of that damage fixed, but Robert Gilmore going to stay on the track, which is, I think, a lot of drivers bringing it down the pit road now. Ryan Gemmel coming back in. Kenny Bishop. Emanuele going to get service done on his 39 machine.
Got a little voice chatter going on here between Zach Smith and Robert Gilmore.
I'm sure probably a little misunderstanding there. I mean, Zach at the start of that one, had the initial mistake, and then Robert couldn't get around him without losing the back end there. So things just compounded, and it ended up really messy at the end.
Yeah.
Taking a look here to see also what tire limits are tonight. Like we have 4 additional sets this evening. Have to manage those pretty well, and some drivers already take them here early on in, like Ryan Gemmel made tires on his second pit stop of the race. Top 23 all remain on the racetrack, and Zach Smith can be cause of that wreck, so he's going to be given the EOL and go to the back of the field. Already a lap down because of that accident. Well, he finds himself 31st right at the moment, but pace car lights are off. We'll be going green next time around. Been a little bit wild here early on.
It really has, guys. You know, like we said, this car is very new, and these guys are slipping and sliding around with the lack of downforce that's on this car. So, yeah, just, you know, you got to get used to it. These guys probably aren't used to it yet. You know, when you're racing right each other, you know, when you guys are racing with each other, you know, things tend to get more intense, and, you know, the cars tend to do different things when you're around somebody, next to somebody, or even right behind somebody. So, you know, just things you got to get used to as we go along with the season, and as this car develops, and as NASCAR continues to develop it as well.
I'll give a shout out to Thomas Baker in chat saying yo yo. We also have Nick Darling, Eric Gallion also in here. So thank you guys. Hope you're enjoying the race so far. It's been a bit wilder than we expected, but like you said, Alex, it's a little bit unpredictable till these guys have their arms wrapped around these and really have a good feel for how they're going to race at all different types of racetracks. But right now, Zach Carr, he's got a pretty good handle on it. After dominating last week, he finds himself out front. He's led every lap so far. Now Keith Mayato going to try and get a jump on him here. Out of turn number 4, going green this time. There is Carr off and away. Mayato, decent restart, but Zach is just going to take off there, already 4 or 5 car lengths ahead. Mayato may be under pressure from his teammate Seth Hatchell.
Yeah, Hatchell got a good restart race, starting right in third, right behind the leader, Zach Carr. They're going to go side by side off of 2 and continue side by side. Keith Mayato gets a little tight off the corner, and Miato's able to clear and carry the momentum down the backstretch. They go into turn 3 again. Side by side behind them, I believe that's AJ Stravato and Jeremiah Vincent, and then Eric Hutton closing in right behind them as well.
Oh, Carr sideways farther back. They save it. I'm not sure. I think that might have been
Dallas Sullivan. No, I'm looking at the wrong person.
Yeah, it was a green and black car. I'm not exactly sure. Right
wrong.
here in the middle, I think it might have been the 70 of Lyle
There's Lyle
Selfridge.
Selfridge.
For him, or another car farther up,
Dustin
possibly.
Longston as well as in a green and black car. I don't think it was him though.
Not sure. Actually, yeah, I believe it was Dustin. I think he got hit possibly in the right rear. You can see he is struggling for grip there out of turn number 4. Able to keep going in the right direction though, up here in 8th position. Meanwhile, at the front, Zach Carr still in the lead, but he's got Keith Mayato maybe starting to close back in just a little bit right now. Is a 10th faster than Zach Carr last time by, and getting a little bit of that draft down the back straightaway.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, Miato, you know, we just had that about 10-lap run. Basically, Miato was kind of saving a little bit of tire right behind them, but behind them, battle for 4th place. You can see Jeremy Stanley and Chris Samard going at it as Stanley backs off the bumper of the 37 and able to tuck in right behind them with Angelo Ronis, and you can see further back, you know, these guys starting to get a little more strung out, a little more single file until we get back to Dallas Sullivan, Dennis Steele, and Ryan Gemmel.
Yeah, that is all the way back outside the top 20, right behind Timmy Emanuele. You also see, like you said, Dennis Steele right here going to go up the second groove, and Alan Dice took a dive down into turn number 3, running the 24th position as he goes wide out of turn number 4. Might open up an opportunity for Lyle Selfridge, who has got that right side damage on the race car and struggling back here in 25th position. A lot of racing going on, and that battle not over there between Alan Dice and Dennis Steele. Looks like Dice going to go to the high side. Going to have a good run out of turn 2. Going to take that spot away into turn number 3. Looks like Dennis just gave it to him with a little right side damage on his machine. Well,
A lot of give and take. Now, oh, well, as I say that, they're 3 wide now.
Yeah, Dallas Sullivan going to try and go around the outside as well. Timmy Emanuele takes the position back. And then Dallas way up the racetrack right there. Able to get it to stick, but here comes Ryan Gemmel working to the inside of Emanuele, trying to fight his way back forward. He'll clear the 39. Here comes Dallas trying to follow suit down into turn number 3. But Timmy's not going to roll over and let these guys take it from him. Going to be able to hold off the 46 that time.
Yeah, you can see now these guys getting back to single file. Emanuele trying to fight off the 46 Dallas Sullivan. And up at the front, we had a change for the 4th position. Jeremy Stanley ended up passing Chris Samard going into turn 3 about 2 or 3 laps ago. And now behind them, Reggie Ortega, Eric Hutton, James Loveland, and AJ Stravato are all right up on each other here. And Eric Lambert is starting to close in. As now Eric Hutton goes underneath the 2 of Reggie Ortega down the front stretch.
Hutton trying to recover from his slides earlier in the race and working his way back forward here. Maybe learned a little bit after making those mistakes. Now let the tires cool after the caution. Here comes James Loveland, going to try and go to the inside down the back stretch. A caution going to fly again. The 95 of Jeremy Clapper Newell. And right around for the cause of trouble here tonight already a couple times. So rough night for Jeremy Clapper Newell as we'll go take a look at what happened to him.
See here, he's all by himself. Carter steps out and
Just lost the back end.
Yeah, let's see, as you can see here, where it goes into the off of the corner, the back end just kind of steps around, tries to save it, locks it down, and just not enough time for the car to fully stop, and he noses that Chevy Camaro right up into the wall. And it just, yeah, tough night, and tough to get a handle around these cars as Thomas Brendel goes around him. But, yeah, just car got loose from under him and just couldn't get it gathered up in time and just went around. But is that our 3rd caution of the night?
Caution number 3 here in the first 25 laps, and very similar to what we've been seeing from other drivers in that part of the corner there. 3 and 4, the cars just, I don't know what it is. Maybe they just get a little bit light in the back end. You know, it starts to kick out. I know it can be a little bit deceiving exiting turn number 4 here. You think you've got all the room in the world, and then the track kind of tightens up, or the radius of the corner tightens up just a little bit, and you can find yourself headed towards the wall pretty quickly. And try and keep the car too low on exit. The back end can swing around like we guys, but I guess it's a little bit tougher to judge what these cars are doing at any given moment, is what I've heard. I don't know that.
Yeah, I noticed with these new next gen cars, at least in iRacing, you know, you have as you get, you know, as the car does step out in the corner, you have about maybe to a 45-degree angle. Once that back end steps out, the car is really, really hard to save. And if it happens, you kind of just you try to save it, and you only get maybe 1 or 2 corrections in it, as the steering response is really fast in these cars with this rack and pinion steering. The car gets really, really loose, and you're trying to gather it up. And in Gen 6, you're kind of weaving the wheel back and forth, right and left. With this car, you get it to the left, and this thing will just snap on you. And then you try to hook it back right and correct it, and that thing might just hook right on you and go straight into the wall. So cars are definitely, it takes a while to get used to, and when you break loose and when the car kind of, you know, gets away from you. But that is a big difference that these drivers are going to have to get used to, and all the drivers are going to have to get used to, you know, as we go farther along into this season. It's just everything about this car except the manufacturers and the drivers are really new.
Yep, and even a lot of the drivers swapping rides in the Real Cup Series. So
Yes.
A lot of things have changed here over the last you know, couple of months. But Zach Carr seems to have it figured out pretty well. We're going to pull him into the now and yeah, how it's Zach Carr, Adam the Beast, you got a copy.
I'm here.
Well, hey Zach, you know, starting off right where you left off last week at Milwaukee, right up here at the front of the field. Got a good handle on the car from what we've seen, but how's it feeling for you here around Kentucky?
The car's feeling pretty stable. There's still a little bit of twitchiness in it, like there was last week. Just only mainly in 3 and 4. It can get away from you on the exit 2 if you just kind of take the corner wrong. But yeah, 3 and 4 is mainly the trouble spot right now. Just trying to keep it as low as you can out of the corner. But you've probably seen a lot of guys having to swing out wide just to keep the car from getting turned around on them.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of drivers have to correct there between 3 and 4, as you described, and that's really what the cause of the last caution was towards the back of the field. 95 lost it there out of turn number 4. You know, it's still a long ways to go. How important are tires here tonight? Have you gotten a chance to kind of test that at all throughout practice?
I feel like overall with this next gen car and the way iRacing has it, I feel like the tire model is not I don't want to say realistic, but that's not what I can think of at the moment. I feel like the tire model is not going to be realistic to how the real life tires are going to react to tire wear, because most of the tire wear you're getting at a lot of these tracks is, you know, very low amounts. Like you're seeing fucking, excuse my language, you're seeing a lot of like 90s on the tire wear overall. You're not seeing a lot of, you know, 70s or 60s. So I personally feel like this early in the race, tires are not very necessary compared to like around lap 50 or something. But with these next gen cars, you're going to see a lot of people go for track position over, you know, being back in the pack with the way people are kind of self-spinning and going up the track and causing a lot of problems overall, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's definitely been kind of a disrupted race so far in the early going. I hope we get a little bit more green flag racing, but got a good handle on it. You're up there still in the lead after starting on the pole, so good luck the rest of the way here tonight, Jack.
Yeah, thank you. Hoping to get Bernie on victory lane 2 weeks in a row.
Sir, good luck, man.
Thank you, Alex.
That is Zach Carr in 7 as we work lap number 7. Second victory in a row as he races start of last.
Wow.
Very very
Very
dominant
dominant.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is in 22 races, I believe. He has 8 victories, nearly a third of all the races, or more than a third of all the races that run at time span. He's looking to continue that dominance here tonight. See his pace car lights are off. Gonna be headed to pit road right there. That car, Keith Mato, once again get us going.
Yeah, that car takes an early restart. Miato not able to really stay with them there as Hatchell gets a pretty decent restart. They cross the line. Miato will tuck right in, gets in the wake of that car, and everybody kind of single filing out to get to a battle for 7th. Eric Hutton gets loose on the apron, able to gather it up. Travato has to miss him.
And Hutton just struggling here as the tires are cold. Seems once they warm up, he's got a better handle on the race car, but man, still slipping and sliding a little bit for the 88 tonight. As side by side, a little farther back, Josiah Vincent, and that is Eric Lambert, who's having a very good run tonight. I know Eric was excited for the higher horsepower, lower downforce in race cars. Says that's really what he started with when he joined iRacing and is used to that type of a driving experience. And it's shown here over the last couple of weeks. He has been running very well, at least much improved over last season. Just hasn't been able to get the finishes. See what he can do tonight. Up here, almost about to break into the top 10, racing for 11th at the moment.
Good to hear guys excited about, you know, actually driving the cars again. You know, we didn't really have that as much, you know, the ability to pass and kind of make our moves and kind of control our own destiny, as they would say, with the 550 horsepower package that we had in the Gen 6 cars. So these cars, the way NASCAR has set them up and the way they have the downforce set up, really puts it back into the driver's hands, and us drivers are big fans of that, I can tell you.
Yeah, I definitely a big fan of slipping and sliding compared to what we had, which felt like it was mostly on rails a lot of the time, those Gen 6 machines. But oh, close call right there between Josiah Vincent and Eric Lambert. Almost contact through the tri-oval. And here comes Jeremiah Vincent, going to look down to the inside.
Getting on that quarter, man, you know, running tight here. This was just the battle for, I believe, 11th place now, as the Vincent brothers trying to capitalize on Eric Lambert here. As Jeremiah gets really wide off the corner, gets a little tight underneath the 19. As they're still side by side down this front stretch, and just up ahead of them a little bit, I believe that's Chris Samard and Angelo Ronis, and Ronis is going to go by the 37 going into turn 1.
Samard, who has run pretty strongly over the last 2 races, looking to try and get another strong finish tonight. Oh, I saw that in the back.
Oh, Lambert just hit the wall. I think Jeremiah got tight under him. And right behind them is Ryan Gimmel after that first lap accident. Back in the mix, and you can see these composite bodies. You get an example of that. Take a hit and keep on going, man. That's good to see. As Gimmel already a rebound after that first lap mishap. And just ahead of them, Josiah Vincent goes around James Loveland in the 56.
Some drivers kind of moving forward, some going backwards, as Dallas Sullivan now fighting side by side. That's Kyle McGarvey to his outside, that bright neon orange machine. Dallas could be able to pass here out of turn number 4. And yeah, Gemmel, I believe, does have pressure tires. He took We got a 14.7-second stop about 15 laps ago, so that's the difference in tires. And that may be what's getting him back up through this field, and that might be a strategy call that pays off big time, as you don't see any of these leaders hitting anytime soon here. He can take advantage. And here comes Dennis Fairclough. Caution flies, though.
Oh, we got trouble on the backstretch. Scott Martin is around and into the inside wall. A lot of left side damage, a lot of right side damage, a lot of damage all around that car. Yeah, and the fourth time, the caution's going to fly out here tonight in the Butts Mobile Home Park, Kentucky 225.
Yeah, he was racing side by side with Alan Dice.
Nice.
That was probably just outside the top 20. Starts drifting up the racetrack there. Little contact, yes.
Soft and hard hitting on the driver's side. Scott Martin, and then back end just kind of slaps back on the inside wall. Yeah, just product of kind of closing up there, and Dice can't really move up more, and then he's just trying to race him hard, and trying to race him clean, and just gets up into him, and just bounces back down to the inside wall.
You right there. If you're Scott Martin, just product of circumstance. Alan Dice, I'm sure, not too self after that
deal.
one.
And so we got the leaders pitting. Zach Carr brings it in, and I believe Keith Miato is going to stay out.
Yeah, so is Jeremiah Vincent. Ryan Gemmel also going to stay out. And that's about it. Zach Carr leads the field down pit road here. Stop at his box nicely. There's Hatchell, Samard, Loveland, Hutton. Quite a few others there behind him. Everybody except for the drivers in the top 5, or remaining in the top 5, have brought it down. And off and away goes Zach Carr. That is 60 of Jeremy Stanley, also going to work off pit road. Then Reggie Ortega, Seth Hatchell. Looks like 4 tires for everybody, except possibly Zach Smith. He had a 7.4-second stop, so maybe a 2-tire call there.
Only or 2, yeah, 2 tires. Want to give a shout out to Reggie Ortega as well. Before that caution come out, I was going to mention his name. He started making some moves coming up the field. He passed Seth Hatcher going into turn 1. Really seemed like he was starting to make some time on the guys ahead of him, and I was talking to him earlier before the race was starting here. He's a pretty big fan of the Kentucky Speedway, so he said he's won here a few times in some other leagues. So maybe Reggie Ortega could be one of those guys to look out and maybe put up a fight to Zach Carr.
Did finish second behind him last week at the Milwaukee Mile after a crazy race where he was in the wall on lap number 1, kind of similar to what happened to Ryan Gemmel tonight. And yeah, we'll see if Reggie can recover or continue to march forward, rather. Ryan Gemmel's the one who's been able to recover so far. He rides in 3rd on the racetrack. Dennis still up here as well in 5th position. Got quite a bit of right side damage. Has not brought it to pit road yet tonight. Both he, Jeremiah Vincent, and Keith Miato, those 3 drivers are the drivers yet to bring it on the pit road at any point tonight.
Here's to see how Miato, Vincent, and Gimmel's tire, along with Emanuele and Dennis Steele's tires, are going to keep up with the guys that just pitted. Have about, I would say, 28 laps of green flag racing laps. So I'm curious to see how the tire wear is. And as we were interviewing Zach Carr, he said didn't seem like tire wear was too big of a concern as well, and be interesting to see. He said more of a track position track, and we see this even in real life. Kentucky is very track position dependent as well, so curious to see what happens here once we go green. So interesting.
Yeah, we'll have to take a look at the lap times as they get rolling once again. Miato's best lap tonight is a 30.722, which is right up there with may actually be the fastest. Might be. So yeah, Miato, we'll see if we get anywhere close to that on these now 37 lap old tires. Looks like pace car lights should be going off this time. We should be doubling up. Yeah, going to be an interesting restart then for these 2 drivers who have yet to bring it down. Jeremiah, known to sometimes save his stuff early on. Saving anything for Keith Miato.
Be curious to see if Vincent, he's got one of the best views you can have is just a clear racetrack ahead of you and a guy next to you. So curious to see if Miato or even Vincent can get out front here, and curious to see Zach Carr being put in traffic now and not being the leader and being able to control these restarts. So curious to see what's going to happen, and as well with Jeremy Stanley and Reggie Ortega, everybody else behind him. Gonna be curious. Never know, a little trouble can happen with these guys being on old tires and restarts as well with this new sequential gearbox we have. Up is, I believe, downshifting, as we used to call it, and down is to upshift into a higher gear. So curious to see what happens on this restart if we get any wheel spin with these guys on old tires as well.
Could very well be the case here. We'll have to wait and find out. Just a few more moments. Keith Miato going to be in control on this restart. He'll be able to jump whenever he wants as soon as that pace car rolls off. And the 9 machine of Jeremiah Vincent going to try and time it as best he can. And then Ryan Gemmel, slightly fresher tires. He could have an opportunity to get up there and lead this race. Collect the bonus point in doing so. There it is. Green flag back in the air. Miato, good jump. And Gemmel's going to go right with him. They stack up behind Dennis Steele down there in the inside lane. And you can't change lanes unless you're avoiding an accident here in the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series, just like in NASCAR. You're not able to change lanes before the start-finish line. But Dennis Steele going the wrong way, straight out of the gate. And there's James Loveland going down the racetrack, car spinning. That's Josiah Vincent.
Oh, Vincent into the inside wall. No caution?
No caution.
All righty. That's interesting. No caution. Vincent hopefully able to get it going. He does. Just a little bit of left side damage, and Ryan Gemmel and Keith Miato have checked out, but Zach Carr on those fresh tires has passed Jeremiah Vincent, who started second, and right behind him is Reggie Ortega passing Timmy Emanuele, and now Jeremy Stanley's trying to work out on that 39.
Zach Carr moving forward on this restart, bringing Reggie Ortega and others with him. Yeah, Timmy Emanuele up the racetrack there. Here comes Jeremy Stanley now. Going to peek down low, not going to have the run out of turn 4. Right behind him, Seth Hatchell, who's up there, started in the second position. Right now rides in 8th. Stuck in kind of a box for the moment, but we'll see what Zach Carr can do. Lap times at the line, Miato just a 10th and a half slower than Zach Carr, so that is what clean air will do for you. How about Ryan Gemmel? He's closing in on his teammate, trying to get up there and lead some laps tonight. Gemmel so close, so many races last season. Hasn't found victory lane since 2. We're on season 5 now. You know he is hungry for a win.
Hungry. He is, nothing like breaking that winless streak. Tell you, it gives you a lot of confidence once you can do that, to go out and win more races. And you never know, you break that winless streak and you start tearing it up out on the racetrack, and you can see what a great recovery, I will say, for Ryan Gemmel as he's trying to look under the outside of his teammate here for the lead. But a great recovery. You can see a little bit of right front damage from getting a lap 1 incident with Miles Morris in the 31 car going into turn 3. Now he looks to the inside of Keith Miato. Miato not going to try to contest it much, and Ryan Gemmel is going to get to the lead. But here comes the 27 of Zach Carr on those fresh tires. He's going to look to the inside of the 36. And Gemmel's going to defend, and Reggie Ortega now looking to capitalize on the 3rd position from Keith Miato.
And Gemmel trying to lead a lap here, but here comes Zach Carr, might just get him at the line. Carr down the hill on the apron. I think Zach Carr leads that lap. He does. Gemmel trying to take it back here in turn number 1, though. I think the tire difference just going to be too much, though, is Zach Carr able to keep it pinned down there on the bottom with no problems. And here comes Reggie Ortega now, going to try and work past him. Zach Carr back to the race lead.
Gemmel saying, what do I got to do to lead a lap here? As you can see, Jeremiah Vincent gets the back end a little too tail happy with that number 9 Napa Chevrolet. As now Ryan Gemmel, Seth Hatchell looks to the inside, and now Eric Hutton tucking in right behind that V-Speed number 8.
Yeah, Jeremiah Vincent also has not brought it to pit lane yet in the race. And update on the drivers who had issues earlier. Josiah Vincent and James Loveland both find themselves over 10 seconds behind the leader. Loveland collected the inside wall pretty hard with the left side of that race car, and Josiah, he had a bit on the left-hand side, but it's not nearly as bad as Loveland. contact there. So they're both running about the same lap times, though. Much faster than a few of these guys up in front of them, so they should gain some spots back.
You see these guys that stayed out on their older tires here, they're really starting to fall back into the clutches of the guys that have new tires. You can see Seth Hatchell trying to pass his teammate Keith Miato. Miato seems like he's just a little bit too tight, has to wait a little bit longer to get on the gas here. As Hatchell trying to clear him, not going to be enough. Yes, it is. He'll clear him. Now Eric Hutton tries to pass that 36 as well. And then right behind them, Jeremiah Vincent, Timmy Emanuele getting past. All guys that have stayed out on old tires, they're really starting to fall off here, and they're just hoping for a caution now.
Yeah, and here's the strategy call, right? It's not paying off at the moment, but we go green for a little while, maybe end up with a string of cautions late in this race. They may have an extra set of tires over the rest of the field, so it could come all back around for them. We have to wait and see how it plays out. Right now, going the wrong direction. Timmy Emanuele trying to stay up here in the top 10, just can't do it for the moment, though. 11th, Chris Smart putting pressure on him. Take that spot away.
Change of hand for second. Jeremy Stanley has passed the two of Reggie Ortega. Stanley having a pretty dang good run here. Trying to see if he can run down Zach Carr. Zach Carr so far has got about a second lead, almost a second lead here over Jeremy Stanley, and then Reggie Ortega, Seth Hatchell, Eric Hutton running at that top 5, and then the 22 of Angelo Ronis passing Ryan Gimbel for the 6th position. He's going to get that one as well, and then behind him it's just kind of single filing out, and where we can maybe see that long run, maybe some green flag pit stops. Still got more than halfway to go in this race here at Kentucky.
Pretty much 2/3 of the way to go. It's taken a little while to knock out these first 50 laps. Top 12 have broken away from Dennis Faircloth, who rides in 13th. He leads Dallas Sullivan, Alan Dice, Kevin McGarvey. So really, that's just a 2-car pack right here, Faircloth and Sullivan, and then you got to go back another 2 seconds to Alan Dice in 15th. Nice quiet run for him, up from 26th. Probably one of our biggest movers. Just riding solidly in the top 15. While at the front, Zach Carr still pens out in front of Jeremy Stanley, who's had a great race as well, up from 10th. And trying to follow up, he had a good performance last week at the Milwaukee Mile. I think he got caught up in a few things late in the going, but really was very strong out there and trying to back that up tonight.
For sure, yeah. You know, nothing like keeping the momentum rolling here throughout a season, especially with the season that the Below the WLI Cup Series has, and basing it on consistency. You want to have consistent runs and be in contention for that championship, that chase format that we have later in the season as we get into the chase for the BTDY Cup. So I'm curious to see, who has the most consistent year. Obviously, we have our heavy hitters, as they would say. As we can tell, Zach Carr is really starting to put the pressure, kind of left off where he did last year on dominating these races and trying to build the points gap as we go into the chase.
Yeah, he's trying to get back up to the top of the standings. I believe he's not quite there yet after the race at Daytona, not finding victory lane in that one. But winning last week definitely helped him out, as Reggie Ortega starting to put pressure back on Jeremy Stanley for 2nd position. Hatchell's gotten around Hutton, moment 4th and 5th. They have broken away now from Angelo Ronis, fighting in 6th position. Miato's still hanging tough up here. Gemmel has started to go the wrong way. He's back to 10th right now. That damage may be catching up to him here as the run goes on. But Angelo Ronis goes through AJ Stravato, try and work his way. And
Samard, see, like we were saying, these tires really starting to fall off here for these guys, and as Miato's just gonna let him go here. Stravato, he's had a quiet run. He started 11th, but not the runs that we're used to seeing Stravato have. He tends to be that season opener. Just not the run we were expecting to see out of him so far. But I'm sure that he's gonna claw his way up to the front, and he always finds a way to be a contender for the win, wherever the track is and whenever it comes down to it.
Yeah, definitely a contender, and that's why he's been in the championship for every season that he's been here in Below the WLO Cup Series, and We got the championship back in season 2, but in a dominating way. He won nearly half the races that season. Has found victory lane quite a few times since then, but not been able to get back to the top step of the championship the last 2 seasons. But put his name up there here again this season after a win last week. Just continuing to build on his all-time win record here in the really cementing himself as a contender, as you said. And a bit farther back here, Gemmel, Emanuele, Faircloth, they're starting to do some battle here to get in that last position in the top 10. Look at Faircloth going to pull a crossover now on Emanuele. Trying to send it down into turn 3.
Not going to work. Backs at the corner here, trying to get to the gas before Emanuele. Emanuele on those older tires than Dennis Faircloth. Faircloth really trying to fight off that corner here. Dives it low. They're going to try to split Ryan Gemmel. As you can see, Gemmel's damage, I think, is starting to take effect of that car here. As the tires get older, as the air gets worse, being in traffic, you can see here, just trying to fight, gets tight underneath Emanuele. Now Faircloth's going to have the prime opportunity, going to get a run down that backstretch and going to go to the outside of that 6 car.
They fight for a position here. We also saw a battle a little farther up. That was Angelo Ronis, Spard, and Mayato, as well as AJ Stravato, all 4 of those cars under a blanket at the moment.
And then a battle for 4th up there with Eric Hutton and Seth Hatchell as well. They are side by side for the 4th position right off of turn 2 and behind Reggie Ortega. As you can see, Hatchell pulls down the backstretch, but into 3, Hutton gains a little bit, gets tight underneath that 8 car, able to kind of stick it there and keep with him to get on this front stretch. And you can see Zach Carr starting to open up that lead on Jeremy Stanley, and then Reggie Ortega falls right behind. But this battle for 4th is about the farthest one up, as you can see guys side by side.
Yeah, Jeremy Stanley pretty much matching the lap time of Zach Carr the last time around. He was only 2 1,000ths off. I do think we're having some problems with a couple drivers up here in the top 5 right now, though hopefully that's not an issue in this one. We do have to keep in mind these guys that have not brought it down pit road, like Keith Mayato and Ryan Gemmel, Jeremiah Vincent, they're going on nearly 60 laps on
fuel.
Yeah, the fuel is going to be a concern. I would think they'd have to bring it in here in the next few laps.
Definitely.
Ran a lot of caution laps, but man, they're cutting it close.
Within the next 10 laps, I would assume to see the guys that did stay out on that last caution to probably come in, as Dennis Faircloth is able to pass Timmy Emanuele for the 10th position, and Ryan Gemmel, Dallas Sullivan, Jeremiah Vincent are fighting each other for 11th right now. But I would assume the guys that did stay out, like Mayato and as we see, Mayato is coming in, as we were just saying, yes, the fuel's starting to be of concern for these drivers. Maybe we're going to start expecting these guys to come in the next 5 laps, as now battle for 3rd, Eric Hutton and Reggie Ortega going at it, and Hutton starting to make some positions, was in 5th about 2 or 3 laps ago. See Ortega side drafts Hutton into off of the corner. Now Hutton fights back on the inside. Hutton's been slowly and steadily creeping his way back up to the field, as obviously had that mishap on the start before we even got going on the start, and then after he got shuffled back in the pack.
Yeah, he was losing some ground for a little while there in the first run, but making it back up here in this midpoint of the race, or closing in on the midpoint of the race rather, as looks like Keith Mayato going to get back on the racetrack. 14.7 second pit stop, just going a lap down 2 moments ago, so he will be in the lucky dog position. Going to be hoping that a yellow does not come out here. When does Jeremiah Vincent bring it down? He should be coming in pretty close.
Yeah, within the next few laps.
Yeah, and then Ryan Gemmel as well. Let's see here. He is right there behind Jeremiah, actually. And Ryan pitted a little bit. He pitted about 15 laps into this race, so he's got a little bit farther that he can go. But these guys right outside the top 10. It may be time to bring it in, and I think Jeremiah Vincent may be signaling that it's about time for him.
Jeremiah Vincent just came over the radio and said he is coming in now. You can see, I believe, Zach Carr either playing into the favor or into the hands of Jeremy Stanley. Blinks a little bit. They're starting to close in on this 27 car. I don't know if Zach Carr is starting to save. Maybe had a little mishap, but I will say we are going to be in about maybe 20 laps. We have a 32 car field. We're going to start running into some lap traffic, which could affect Zach Carr, as we can see these guys being in a little bit of traffic, as, you know, never out of the question dirty air. So I've noticed Reggie Ortega has kind of been struggling trying to pass Jeremy Stanley in the corner. Can't seem to get about 2 car lengths close to him, and then he starts to kind of fall back, kind of that arrow push effect. This guy's starting to spread out a little bit, but Zach Carr is being ran down by the 60.
Jeremy Stanley having a breakout performance so far in this one tonight, nearly halfway. He's up from 10th position and about to be challenging for the race lead. Seeing some blinking going on for him at the moment. But
I think Carr might have messed. I think his rear tires are really, really hot right now. He's gotten loose off the corner as Stanley's going to try to challenge for the lead. But yeah, it looks like Zach Carr having a little bit of handling issues and maybe kind of made the rear tires a little mad through 3 and 4. As we were saying, that Carr does get loose there as he's going to go and defend the bottom. Stanley looks high for the lead as right behind him, Eric Hutton trying to throw the slider on Ortega is able to get it done. A battle for the lead between Stanley and Carr as Carr dives it down to the bottom. You can see that rear end kind of stepping out from under him here. As now it's going to be curious to see what Eric Hutton has for these guys right behind him.
yeah, Jeremy Stanley looked like out of turn number 4 there. He went very wide, but was able to keep it alongside down the front stretch, but just not able to stay with the 27 through 1 and 2. You see Eric Hutton, the back end, wiggling on that car as they exited turn 2. But I think everybody's starting to feel the looseness in these cars, especially running.
You see Carr. Oh man, yeah, Carr's rear tires are really, he just doesn't have the drive off that the 60 and the 88 have, and the 60 is going to lead that lap. Jeremy Stanley to the front, Eric Hutton to the outside of the 27. The 27 is really burned off those rear tires, and he hasn't been able to cool them off yet. Carr is starting to struggle with that rear end, as you can see him get loose off of turn 2. Now Hutton looks down to the bottom, and he's going to send it under the 27 here. As that car really starting to fall off here as Hutton gets tight and 27 gets loose.
Yeah, and Hutton still struggling with that car out of the corner there. You can see he lost a lot of drive. Here comes Reggie Ortega, Seth Hatchell. Look at the run from these two as they work to the outside of the 88 now.
Yeah, Hutton gets kind of passed up there, is just not able to carry the momentum. Now we're going to start running into lap traffic. The 34 Martin Sports Chevy Camaro of Thomas Brendo lets these guys go on the inside. Carr starting to close back on that 60 as Brendo goes high. Now Ortega slots into the third position. Eric Hutton in 4th, and Seth Hatchell quietly riding behind the 88 in 5th.
And Jeremy Stanley able to pull away there. I know from some talks with the drivers prior to the race, they said after about 20 laps, if you're riding behind someone, you can get very unstable and very uncomfortable in these machines. And you know, we're 30 laps in to this run, over 30 laps in. So these guys have really been pushing it here and starting to see some of that discomfort maybe, you know, rising here. As look at the big slide.
Yeah, look at that. Love seeing these guys slip and slide around on a mile and a half. It's been a while. It's a welcoming sight to see, and especially for our viewers, makes the racing like this better. And watching these guys have to will it, as Stanley is starting to pull out a little bit of a lead, but can't seem to get away here. His car is really just giving it all he's got, really. But I will say that back end, those rear tires definitely struggling here, as you can see. Just can't seem to get the rear end to just kind of hook up on the bottom in 3 or 4, especially. Just can't seem to get the power down, which is a good thing.
Close moment right there. Reggie Ortega almost slid right up into Eric Hutton, but they swap positions now. Hutton takes 3rd away from Ortega, but this top 5 battle is hot and heavy right now as they have pulled away from AJ Stravato. But when did these guys maybe start tracking them down with a little bit of clean air between them?
Really haven't made up but much time. As you can see, Eric Hutton and Zach Carr going at it for the 2nd position going into 3. Hutton's going to dive it up, try to take all that air away from the 27. You can see, gets him tight on the bottom and a little contact with Reggie Ortega. Ortega slides high, and now the 8 of Seth Hatchell is going to get underneath the 2 cars. You can see Zach Carr is really, really starting to fall off there.
This is just incredible racing up here. This reminds me so much of old school NASCAR, and it's new school now. The next gen machines putting on a show, and hopefully this is how they run here at these mile and a halves. Kentucky was never one of my favorites to watch, but this has been very exciting. Probably the most exciting race I've ever seen. Look at Eric Hutton wheeling it out of turn number 4 there. Going to lose a couple car lengths, but still riding in the 2nd positions. And he's been putting some pressure on Jeremy Stanley here these last couple laps.
He has, and I will say, when these cars are hard to drive, I remember back in the day, as I would say, I'm probably too young to say that, but back in 2018, 2017, we had the Gen 6 low downforce, high horsepower, 750 horsepower. Eric Hutton was the man to beat on these mile-and-a-halfs. He's really good when you put the talent in the driver's hand. Hutton knows how to keep his tires under him and control the car and drive it fast. And I'm not even close to surprised to see him thrive in these conditions, as we can see. But I'm really, really impressed with Jeremy Stanley being able to kind of hold off these guys and defend his position in the lead, and being able to take it to Eric Hutton, Seth Hatchell, last year's champion 2 years in a row, and Zach Carr, who's obviously been one of the most dominant drivers this league has had. So it's really good to see some new faces kind of showing that they belong here, as well as I'm assuming we're just now halfway through this race and have a pit stop to go. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen, what's going to shake out here.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting this second half of the race with the way they are putting on the show right now here in the top 5. I am excited to see how this all plays out as well. Hutton and Carr going at it again for second position. The 27 sends it down to the inside lane. He's going to have Seth Hatchell right on his bumper. And Zach Carr going to keep it pinned down on the exit of the corner. Not able to get the drive off. Hutton going to be able to clear him. And, you were talking about how good Hutton was in the 2017 machines. He has made a lot of mistakes here, but he finds himself in second. That shows you how good he is when he's not making any mistakes. He is now going to be right on the back bumper of Jeremy Stanley. Might have a battle for the lead. And a lap machine.
The lap car on the bottom.
James Loveland working his way off of pit road, and
it's gonna give Eric Stanley kind of upset the car as soon as he got into the turbulence of the 56, and now Hutton's gonna have a big run, and just behind them, Zach Carr got loose off the corner, and Hatchell, last year's champion, is gonna take opportunity to pass him, and Reggie Ortega right behind him. They're side by side. You can see Carr trying to fight back on that inside, and Seth Hatchell on that outside, pinning him down, gets the push, and Carr's just going to let the two cars that were behind him go, and he's going to slot into the 5th position. Zach Carr's car is really starting to fall off here as this run continues to go on. As Stanley loose off the corner. Oh my gosh.
Here comes Hutton. Here he comes.
Awesome. Hutton to the outside here. Able to take the lead. Stanley's gonna get loose, gonna get tight underneath the 88. It's gonna stall him out down this backstretch. What will Seth Hatchell, the number 8, do?
This is great racing up here. Amazing racing side by side. Hutton, Stanley. Here comes Hatchell, gonna try and peek the middle. Not gonna be enough room for him to
run off.
Oh, Hatchell, big slide right there. Hutton to the lead for the moment. He's gonna clear the 60 across the line. Lap 80 goes up on the board. Eric Hutton, your race leader, side by side for 3rd. Seth Hatchell and Reggie Ortega, and Zach Carr right here in the mix as well. Chris Samard has moved up to 6th, getting around AJ Stravato, and they are starting to close in on that lead. 5 machines. Angelo Ronis also in the mix here. Dennis Faircloth in 9th, having a great run tonight. He is behind. That is Keith Mayato, a lap down, still trying to work back towards the lead lap.
Love watching these guys slide around. It's awesome. It's real racing. You love to see it. As now it looks like Stanley's going to look to the inside of the 88 of Eric Hutton. Miles Morris up on the top. We're starting to run into lap traffic as well. Depends on where Morris is going to run. The 60 kind of slides off the corner, and now Hatchell's going to have a big run. He's going to get to the outside of the 60.
31 goes up to the 3rd groove here, but it's going to get tight fast, I think, out of this corner. And yeah, it is. Hatchell has to back off right there just a little bit. Here comes Reggie Ortega. Oh my goodness. This can't work. Oh!
Car gets turned to the outside wall. The lead, the dominant car of the day is in the wall.
Oh my goodness. I knew it wasn't going to work as soon as I saw that he was going to take it 4 wide. The lap machine, Miles Morse, just came down the track a little bit right there, and that turned the 27 of Zach Carr around. You can see he's still sitting on the banking, and obviously going to be very frustrated after the sequence over the last 25-30 laps where he really just lost the handling on that race car. As let's take another look at this one. That is Zach Carr, the 27. He's led 58 laps tonight, and he's going to have heavy damage on this machine.
Wow. Wow, what an amazing, what an amazing 30 laps of racing. It's awesome, awesome racing. See these guys sliding around and racing each other, and just, oh man, a bad situation. It's not, we've seen four wide work here. We saw it in the 2020 Cup race. Four wide can work here, but just the lap cars, they need to get out of the way when you start running up. When these guys are battling for the lead, you got to get out of the way there, and just a tough situation. I know it closes up there, but just tough to see probably the best car just seem to fall off in that run, but the best car get taken out.
As the field going to work on the pit lane now, that is going to be led by Eric Hutton, and basically everyone is coming down. I don't think anyone would dare to stay out except for drivers like Keith Mayato, who should get the lucky dog. But it may just be Miles Morse. Oh no, he was involved. I'm not sure who's going to get the lucky dog here.
Yeah, Keith Mayato did get the lucky dog here. Mortar pit stops as Eric almost misses the box there, and another new thing with this next gen car, the single lug nut wheels, a little bit faster pit stops. Instead of the 13, 14 seconds, I believe they're almost 11, 12 seconds. So about a second shaved off of the pit stops. And I would expect it to probably come down as the year goes on with the pit crews and different tactics being evolved. So Eric Hutton's going to get out first, and I believe Jeremy Stanley and Seth Hatchell will be your top three out of pit road.
Eric Hutton going to take the race lead now as we work under the fifth caution of the night. We've had 4 total lead changes, and man, has it been exciting here these last few laps. We're going to go to a quick commercial break to hear from our series sponsor, and we will be right back.
Simulators Anonymous is an online gaming community. The heart of this community is playing simulator-style games, everything from driving, farming, flying to the occasional survival game. We would love for you to join us. If you play these style of games, or if you're just looking for a great community, we strive to be a community you can be an active participant in by offering events like every third Saturday night is a late night trucking on Truckers MP. We have a very own Minecraft server and with other servers starting soon. Come join Simulators Anonymous today at www.simulatorsanonymous.com.
Watch your Element sign reading weekly on Sailor Tarot Magic's YouTube to answer all of your love and career questions. Call to schedule your personal reading at 732-314-0777.
All right, we're back at the racetrack now. Eric Hutton, your race leader, has taken it away during those last few green flag laps and then able to win the battle off of pit road. He'll have Jeremy Stanley to his outside, Seth Hatchell, Reggie Ortega, Chris Samard, the top 5, AJ Stravato 6th, Angelo Rona 7th, Dallas Sullivan in 8th, Dennis Faircloth 9th, and Alan Dice rounding out the top 10. So some of these guys having good runs tonight. We talked about Eric Lambert as well. He's up in the 15th position, still hanging tough in the top 15. Hit one of his best performances in recent memory, so good to see him. Yeah. Hopefully we don't curse him right there, but
I want that commentator's curse.
We already cursed Zach Carr, I think, by bringing him in the booth and talking with him.
No, no. But man,
he finds himself 25th, one lap down. He's got quite a bit of damage on that race car. We'll see if he's able to recover. He's going to have to get back on the lead lap first. Keith Mayato, Jeremiah Vincent, Ryan Gimmel, the last three drivers on the lead lap. Mayato getting the lucky dog, the other two taking wave arounds, and going to be Eric Hutton and Jeremy Stanley getting us going here.
Sir, pace car pulls off. Let's see Hutton stacking up in the restart zone on the gas. Stanley doesn't get as good of a restart. Allows Seth Hatcho to get underneath him. Reggie Ortega on the back bumper, that number 60. You can see Eric Hutton out to a pretty reasonable lead, but man, I hope we get some green flag laps going here, because that racing on that long run was absolutely amazing. You can see Angelo Ronis gets loose off the corner, 3 wide with Dennis Faircloth and Dallas Sullivan. Sullivan sends it into the corner. He's able to get one spot. I don't think he's... Oh, a hard hit! A hard hit by somebody. I think that was Dustin Longston.
Yeah, it was the 51 as he starts backing it down the banking here. Saw a couple drivers involved in that, I think, but maybe just Logston for now. Let's go take a look at what happened to him here. One of those restart type wrecks, and he is done for the day. Engine is smoking, front end completely off that race car. Go take a look here. I think maybe the same thing that we've seen a lot of tonight. Logston goes into the corner right there on the 42's back bumper, goes up the hill, loses the back end. And then,
Emanuele, and I believe that was Lyle Selfridge in it as well. And Dennis Steele just missed it, but a massive hit on that 51 car. You can just see, just gets what we've been saying early in the broadcast. Just steps out, you get one chance to correct it, and if you overcorrect it, this is the exact result. Man, what a hit.
A big hit indeed, Dustin Logston. That's the biggest hit of the night. Going to end his night as he will bring it on to pit road here and get some repairs attempted, but I think they may run out of laps to get this thing fixed. That car going to need serious engine work and a lot of body work, that is for sure. He pulls to the attention of his crew. He is going to be there for quite some time. So Logston involved in that one. Timmy Emanuele also got a little piece of it, but he is able to continue on up here in 14th. And that shows you where Logston was. He was up there, I think, running right around the top 10, maybe even further up than that. And he is going to be pretty much done tonight. So it doesn't matter where you're running, how fast you've been all race long. These things can sneak up on you.
Yeah, for sure. Just another one of those cases of this car blow down force. You get loose in the corner. Car steps out from under you, and you just, like I said, you don't get that much. You don't, like the Gen 6, you're able to, in the Gen 6 car, you're able to kind of control the looseness with the amount of side force that you had. And the side force being the fenders kind of flared out, kind of helping the air, the air kind of smooths the car out almost, where when the car does step out, the air kind of is like a buffer almost. It doesn't allow the car to fully come around unless you get it to come around fully. But with this car having those flat sides almost with a little bit of fender flare, it's not as much as that buffer is left. Instead of, you can probably go 80 degrees sideways, be able to save it. This, you only have maybe 40, 45 degrees, cutting that almost in half to save it. And you really only get 1 or 2 really corrections to kind of save it, and then you just go around, and it's really hard to save it. Once the car kind of snaps, you're kind of done for, as we saw there with Dustin Longston.
Yes, indeed, and we saw a lot of that happen last week at the Milwaukee Mile. Let's see if we can bring somebody up into the booth here as we ride under caution. How about Dennis Faircloth having a good run up here in 7th? He started in 19th, so having a really good run tonight. Let's pull him in here.
There he is. Dennis Faircloth. You got a copy?
I guess, maybe. I was just...
All right.
Me.
Sorry to bring you up while your conversation, but we were just talking about you. You started a little bit deep back in the field. I think you started 19th. You're up to inside the top 10 and running in 7th. How's the race been for you?
Just trying to be patient. So I found out that you can get it off track here at Kentucky, because I would have been P7 if my second lap would have counted, but cut the apron too much coming to the line, and it gave me an off track. So I did not realize that. But yeah, just trying to be patient. The car's a little squirrely. I've been practicing a lot, but we obviously haven't had 30 cars on the track in any other practice sessions that we set up throughout the week. So, but I'm getting used to it. Just trying to stay clean, really. So fingers crossed, haven't had anything happen to me yet. So hopefully it continues.
For sure, and I want to go to what you said. I think we have one to green here, but before we let you go, you said you've been practicing, and now we have more cars on the track. How much different is the with having all these cars on the track compared to what you're practicing with?
For some reason, I don't know if it's just me or what, but it just feels like when you're about a half a second behind someone, there's a little cushion, not even a cushion really, but it makes your car loose when you're behind someone, and you would think it'd be the opposite, but obviously that's exacerbated a lot more now that there's more cars. So just having to adjust how I'm getting into the corner. I'm really breaking in early into turn 3 just to avoid that, looseness, but otherwise, yeah, getting used to it. It's going to be a different animal this season, so.
For sure, man. Well, we wish you the best of luck. Hoping not to commentate or curse you. So, like I said, wish you the best of luck, man, and go get them.
Just say something real bad about me real quick, so it'll be opposite.
I'm afraid I can't do that. This is not V-Speed After Dark.
Oh, dadgummit, man. I'll get my skid steer load on you.
Alrighty, man. Good luck.
You have a good night.
You too.
One of the characters here in the league for sure, Dennis Faircloth, one of the biggest contributors to the paint schemes you see on the racetrack, and he's a great painter and does a great Ward Burton impression. As we're back off and away, Eric Hutton gets us going. The number 88 machine going to take a good restart here and try and extend that lead over Seth Hatchell down into turn number 1. The gap about five car lengths, and Hatchell under pressure now from Jeremy Stanley, who has led some of this race. He's been very fast tonight, but expect him to get up there and try and challenge the 88.
For sure. It seems like the top two on the long runs have really been the 88 and the 60, and as well as the 8. As you can see, Dallas Sullivan getting loose, able to save it in the middle 3 or 4. Great save by the 46, and everybody trying to avoid him now as we go 3 wide on the straightaway with the 3 and the 19. Oh, Jeremy Stanley is slow. He's off the pace.
Oh no, what happened there? Maybe lost control out of turn number 4. Yeah, he went through the grass racing with Reggie Ortega, and yeah, just lost the back end.
Oh.
And took a little shortcut here doing some landscaping, and just able to get it back up on the banking here, all the way back in 18th after racing for 3rd right there. So he's got some work cut out for him here in this last 60 laps.
Yeah, I'm sure Eric Hutton has a sigh of relief, because I feel like that was probably his biggest competitor that was up in the top 5, but you can't ever count any of these guys out. A lot of talent in this field. And now a battle for 3rd, Seth Hatchell and AJ Stravato. He's starting to get... Oh! Ortega! Up into the wall!
Man, I wonder if something got spilled down there in 3 and 4. One of these accidents, maybe some oil on the racetrack. These guys are sliding all over the place, and Reggie Ortega, the latest victim of that difficult handling down there in 3 and 4, and he's back to 7th at the moment. Alan Dice closes in on him, but good job to keep it pointed in the right direction, but a lot of damage there. Angelo Ronas bounces off the wall out of turn 2. These guys really going for it here, and it's costing them.
At the final closing laps, almost 50 to go already, and possibly... Oh, Josiah Vincent's around! Contact in turn 4 in the 6 car of Ryan Gemmel is involved as well.
Oh my goodness, Gemmel getting a piece of that one. Josiah Vincent looping it out of turn number 4. Wow, this just got... It seemed calm there for a moment.
Intensity is picking up.
That is for sure. It seemed so calm, and then all of a sudden, 2, 3, 4 incidents all at once. And same spot on the racetrack. How about Keith Mayato just getting past this? Take a look here.
Yeah, from under him.
Yeah, just lost the back end, and man. Oh, and Gemmel just could not sneak past.
Yeah, man. Gemmel had a great recovery and just gets into it there. Good avoidance by Ryan Gemmel's teammate, Keith Mayato, but Gemmel just not so fortunate to get around that. But yeah, just bad situation there.
Able to keep it off the wall, but going to get a little bit more damage on that right front that he already had damage on. And Josiah Vincent, already he had some damage as well on the left side from an earlier spin out of turn number 2. Yeah, just loses the back end, but man, that is a trouble spot tonight. These guys really having a hard time.
It really seems like it is. These guys are, like I think Dennis was saying too. The farther back in traffic, obviously the worse your car is going to drive, and it seems like you just, instead of like with the Gen 6, the car getting tight, these cars tend to get loose in traffic. So really interesting to see. I hope we get a long run, because I really want to see how Eric Hutton and these guys, we saw the race on the long runs was absolutely amazing. So I'm curious to see what happens. Is Zach Carr, I believe, got the lucky dog in that position, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Now back on the lead lap, up inside the top 20. We do have, I believe it's going to be 24 drivers on the lead lap. Josiah Vincent, extended stop right here. We'll see if he is able to remain on the lead lap. I think he will. The leader's just working through turns 3 and 4 right now. Josiah rolls off pit road. He will be the last car on the lead lap for the moment. Dennis Steele sits in the lucky dog spot, barring another caution here tonight. And the way things have been going, I think we might get a couple more at least.
I know. Intensity has indeed been picking up, as we could see. Eric Hutton, man, I tell you, he's looking pretty good right now. But he's got a AJ Stravado. He's already won a race this year, and I guarantee you he's hungry for another win, and especially on a mile and a half. So curious to see. And if we get a long run here, as laps keep clicking off here, I'm curious to see if these guys can make it all the way on fuel and tires. So again, these next gens do have a bigger fuel tank, surprisingly, because the shorter rear end as well. You would think a smaller one, but they do have a bigger one, contains more gallons of fuel. So I'm curious to see what the mileage is. If we can go the distance, I believe it's maybe, taking a look here, about 52 more laps on fuel. So I'm curious to see if everybody can make it, and maybe we could have a spoiler out in the back trying to play a little fuel strategy, and see if they can maybe capitalize on a win.
Okay, see a few drivers just topping off right here. Lane Sulfridge bringing it in for another 4.5 seconds. Jeremiah Vincent, who is on the lead lap, also stopping. Here goes Zach Carr. He's going to have to drop to the tail end of the lead, or tail end of the longest line, being the lucky dog recipient there. He is 23rd, and might see him bring it in here and try and top off. That could be potentially a winning strategy, or at least a way to recover if things fall the right way for him. You can't blame his efforts here tonight. He has been very quick, and just unfortunate incident there in the 4 wide. Just not something you see a lot at these mile and a halves, and it didn't work out tonight for him. But still has a shot to maybe get up there, maybe top 15, and try and keep himself in the hunt for the regular season championship.
For sure, absolutely, and he had a tough time at Daytona, and obviously having a tough time here at Kentucky. But Zach Carr is definitely a championship contender, and given the right circumstances and nothing like what happened tonight happening, guarantee he's going to be one of the favorites as the season winds down. And I'm excited to call the season, and appreciate you letting me come up here, Adam. And I want to thank all the viewers for watching this, and hope these guys put on a good show for you guys. And hope we're doing a good job in trying to entertain you guys. So this has been awesome. I've enjoyed this race so far, and I'm curious to see how these last 50 laps are going to turn out.
Me too. It has been very entertaining from our perspective, and of course, do want to thank all the fans for watching tonight. Hope you guys are enjoying. If you want to learn more about our channel here and what we're broadcasting throughout the week, you can check out the links on the screen for our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, where we post updates before each and every broadcast, so you can see when we're going live. And you can also check us out on Twitch occasionally for V-Speed After Dark. At least once a week is the plan, and it's been very fun to get back over there and do some of that stuff as well. So keep an eye out for what we're doing throughout the week, and Below the BTDY Cup Series putting on shows for us each week so far. AJ Stravado, Eric Hutton going to get us going here as we have a car pull off towards the rear of the field. That, I'm not sure. I think Scott Martin slow.
Yes.
As Hatchell trying to get the nose in under Stravado, can't do it. Going to be Hutton, Stravado, and Hatchell single file down into turn number 1, side by side for 4th.
Yeah, side by side, it's Angelo Ronis and Chris Samard, and then right behind them, Dennis Faircloth and the two of Reggie Ortega. They're going to go side by side, two pairs of cars side by side going into turn 3. Calamity Corner, as it has looked like tonight. Everybody seems to get through relatively smooth, no contact. So we'll go into turn 1. Oh, Reggie Ortega! Reggie Ortega is in the grass!
Oh my goodness, I didn't even see him. He was so far down the track. Ortega losing a ton of spots, and he has had a bad time here these last 10 or 15 laps. He hit the wall, and now he loses the back end coming out of turn number 4. Able to keep it point. Oh man, he got air there. Did you see that?
Yeah, that is. I think back in the day, I forgot. I think it was a Las Vegas nationwide race. Somebody I remember in the booth saying Travis Pastrana would be proud, and I guarantee you would be proud. Oh, Eric Lambert is around in the middle of the pack. Everybody saves it, and he's able to save it, and he gets it going again. No caution coming out. An amazing save by Eric Lambert, and now in the middle of the pack, ahead of them, Josiah Vincent, and I believe that's Jeremy Clapper Newell are going at it for the 15th position, almost getting into each other and wrecking.
Man, this is crazy stuff here tonight. It's been so entertaining. Cars just sliding all over, and it seems like these full tanks and the fresh tires, it's really difficult to get a handle, but once we go green for a while, the car comes to these guys, and then it eventually starts loosening back up. We do see some great battles, though, right now. Timmy Emanuele, Alan Dice, this for 8th and 9th. Good runs by both of these drivers, making their way from outside the top 20 up here into the top 10, as Timmy going to take that spot away, and another driver to keep your eye on.
Jeremy Stanley in that 60 Nerd Toots car as he cuts under Emanuele, and for the, I believe that's the 8th position, as he had a mistake early in the race, got loose and got up into the infield grass, and was able to have a good recovery. He's up about 10 spots from where he was, so making way, and he's had a fast race car tonight. I'm curious to see if he can try to, maybe with a caution or even just raw pace on a long run, can run down that 88 Wild Turkey Chevy Camaro of Haircut.
Yeah, I think he could be a contender for that one. Still plenty of time to get there. Keith Mayato, though, is who I was going to talk about. He has made a great recovery after being off sequence. Was a lap down, got the lucky dog, and now he's up here in the top 5 once again. So things falling exactly how he wants, and maybe going to be able to take some fresher tires, or at least have an extra set compared to the rest of these guys around him. By the end of the race. So Mayato moving forward once again. He's a guy to always keep your eye on, always contender each and every race. So that is up there in the top 5. Eric Hutton, AJ Stravato, Seth Hatchell, Chris Samard, and Keith Mayato. So 2 teams, LDR and Team V Speed, making up the top 5. It'll be a battle amongst those teams.
As you can see, a battle for the 9th position. Alan Dice and Timmy Emanuele, and along with Kevin McGarvey is close into this battle as well. And right up ahead of them, Dennis Faircloth, now side by side with Timmy Emanuele for the 7th position. As man, this next gen car has been putting on a heck of a show tonight, and I hope everybody's enjoying the race in the 90s. Oh, man, Emanuele running Faircloth tight down the front stretch.
Yeah, that was
Just
a close call.
race.
Yeah, that is. This is great stuff. Reminds me so much of the old Gen 4 machines, where you could get right up to somebody's quarter panel, take the air off them. But it didn't necessarily mean that you couldn't drive the race car. It just, you had to approach it a little bit differently, and you really had to wheel those things to get the most speed out of them. Had to be on the edge of control, and that is what we've seen here tonight. Drivers like Eric Hutton, who have crossed the line a few times, but able to really wrangle these race cars, and doing a great job right now with AJ Stravato in tow, and the rest of the top 5 keeping up with him for the moment. But Hutton has been good on these long runs.
He really has, but Stravato is starting to slowly but surely reel him in and getting closer to the back end of the 88. But Seth Hatchell, he's also dragging along the 8 of Seth Hatchell and the V-Speed cars with Chris Samard and Keith Mayato, who's had, like we said earlier, had a great recovery. But let me tell you who is absolutely hauling the mail here and moving through the field, slicing and dicing. Jeremy Stanley is a man on a mission after that mistake in going through the infield. He's already worked his way up to the 6th position, passing Angelo Ronis. So I tell you, if there's a caution, I could see Jeremy Stanley. He's had a fast race car tonight. I'm guarantee you he'll be a threat to win this race.
Yeah, that 60 car, it'd be 2 weeks in a row with great runs. And I mean, even tonight could be considered a really successful run, even if he finishes right where he's at. He's led 12 laps, started in 10th. He's running 6th. He's been up here in the fight almost all race. He's going to be, recovering from a mistake there, like you said, working his way back forward. Another driver, Angelo Ronis, who has been solidly up here in the top 10. Small mistakes from him that we've seen, just losing it a little bit on the couple of corners, but up from 16th to 7th. And right here behind him, Dennis Faircloth up 11 positions as well, having a great night. Alan Dice up 18 positions behind him, and then Timmy Emanuele up.
Carr.
Oh, and Zach Carr working back in the top 10.
Yeah, maybe his race ain't over yet, but he does have a decent amount of damage. I don't know, he's not on the pace that of the leaders, but he is having a solid comeback after going 4 wide and getting turned to the outside safer barrier in turn 1. But definitely a great recovery from Zach Carr. And, he had something similar like this last year where he didn't get wrecked, but he had a little bit of a fuel situation in Atlanta in the championship race and was able to recover and finish 2nd in that race. So I'm curious to see what Carr can do now with this next gen. Obviously, the composite bodies kind of helps you, like if you do get in a wreck, you can recover like this, and it's great to see what these cars were designed for. They're really starting to show here. We saw in real life and now obviously here in the iRacing simulator.
Yeah, definitely putting on a great show for us here tonight. Side by side, Timmy Emanuele and Kevin McGarvey. That battle for the 13th position as McGarvey takes a nose out in front, but Timmy going to pinch him hard here in 1 and 2. That's a dangerous tactic from what we've seen with the way these cars are handling in the middle of the corner, and Timmy's still trying. Oh, 77 comes. Oh!
He jumped him! He moves him up the racetrack, and Kevin McGarvey saves it. And I'm sure that Kevin McGarvey is not too happy with Timmy Emanuele.
Yeah, and now he's going to have an opportunity to maybe pay him back. He's going to be right behind him here down into turn 1, but not close enough to get back to his bumper. But maybe a little early to be doing the bump and run here tonight. Still a long ways yet to go. And McGarvey closing right back up here out of turn 2. He's going to look down to the inside. It's a good battle for 13th.
And the best thing out of all of this, no front end damage on the 39 and no rear end damage on the 77. All good. Composite bodies. You can get a little rough with these cars here. Get a little physical. And now, as I will say that, Eric Hutton is starting to fall back into the clutches of AJ Stravato, and Chris Samard is going underneath the 8 of Seth Hatchell for the 3rd position.
Yeah, so good racing up here in the top 5. Hatchell and Samard side by side, close racing out of turn 4. And Samard, good run though, able to pull fully alongside. And who is Mayato going to go with here? He jumps to the high side for the moment, but then trying to get that good entry into turn number 1. Looks like Samard should be able to clear the 8. These guys probably going to cut each other a bit of slack, knowing that the top 2 may be working together to try and pull away. Hasn't worked so far. Caution.
Man. Caution is out, and I believe might have been Thomas Brendel.
Yeah,
no, I don't think it was.
Sure who it was. Find out here. Caution flying on the racetrack, though.
I think it might have been for Thomas Brendel, who believe the engine expired on that 34. Maybe going below pace of what iRacing registered and threw the caution out for it. So yeah, I'm not sure. I don't see any cars that went around there. So I think it was definitely for I believe it was probably for Thomas Brendel, whose engine expired, and throwing it out for I guess the fluid leaking out on the racetrack.
Yeah, so first engine to expire other than Dustin Logston.
He's back all on the track, though.
Yeah, wow. I can't believe they got him back out there. That car is destroyed, but only 8 laps down and trying to make every lap he can here at the best finish possible. Every point does count. Has pulled it back onto pit road, though.
Everybody is coming down to pit road. Leaders are in the pit road. Eric Hutton, you know what I just noticed? Eric Hutton, I don't know if you can see it on your screen. Eric Hutton has some right front damage on that 88 Wild Turkey machine. I don't know if you see it on your screen, but he does have a little crinkle in that right front where the fender connects to the bumper.
Yeah, I do see that actually. I wonder if that was maybe from the crazy battling that we had earlier on. I think he might have gone wide one time out of turn number 4 and just scuffed the wall. There's AJ Stravado. Good exit out of his pit stall. He's got the lead off pit road, assuming no speeding penalties. Stravado wins the battle off.
Good stop by that 33 crew. AJ Stravado getting out front, getting in that clean air. And Eric Hutton's going to be in second, and Seth Hatchell gets a position over Chris Samart, and he'll slot into third. AJ Stravado, a great stop by that 33 crew.
Yeah, his stop was actually slower than Eric Hutton's, but his time on pit road was 1.3 seconds.
Damage fixed. Eric might have got some of that damage fixed on that right front. Could be a possibility. I will say maybe there was a reason, because I do not remember seeing any right front damage on that 88 car. So maybe there was a possibility he might have hit the wall before the caution came out, and that's why he started falling back to the 33 car and everybody that was behind the 33.
It may indeed be the case, as out in front right now it's going to be Dallas Sullivan staying on the racetrack along with Lyle Sulfridge. They'll remain the top 2 for the moment, so Dallas should be coming across the line and lead a lap here, get that bonus point. It's going to be very crucial for drivers like him who find themselves currently outside the top 12 in the standings.
You know, with that caution coming out, it just made me think, now we have Dallas Sullivan and Lyle Sulfridge staying out. You know who's probably really happy that caution came out is that 60 car of Jeremy Stanley. We saw him, he had really good pace early in the race, then made a mistake off of turn 4, went through the infield, and has clawed his way back up inside the top 10. And now sitting behind, I believe that's Angelo Ronis in the number 22. He's rolling in the top 10 in 9th, but he looks like he's had almost some of the best pace, and almost maybe even had better pace than Eric Hutton, who was leading. So I'm curious to see, now that we all get bunched back up again and within only 30 laps to go, if Jeremy Stanley can claw his way up to the lead and try to win this race.
Yeah, and this is another opportunity for Zach Carr to gain some more positions. Finds himself right now in 12th. With the 2 drivers staying out at the front, so he would probably be in the top 10 if everybody had come down that time. But a driver I'm sure we'll see move forward here in the last 30 laps is going to be that 27. He rides behind Josiah Vincent, who's had an up and down race. He's hit the wall a couple times, spun out,
yeah.
And he's still up here racing just outside the top 10 behind Dennis Faircloth, whose car I believe is totally clean.
Oh, yeah.
One of the few left out here.
I've seen a lot of these cars got damaged and able to rebound and get back up inside the top 10 and inside the top 15. It's great to see these cars being able to take a hit and still being able to drive up and being able to well, that was quite the stutter, to be able to pass guys and you know, kind of just race. You know, any kind of damage on any car is going to hurt. But to recover like this in the Gen 6, you would have never seen it, and the aero disadvantage you would have been in, hitting the wall like Zach Carr, getting in a wreck like Ryan Gimmel and Josiah Vincent. So it's good to see with the development of this new next-gen car and how these cars are able to take a hit, and it's good for the fans. So curious to see if with these top 2 staying out, how the field's going to react to that. AJ Stravado thinking he was going to be the leader. Coming out of the pits is now sitting in 3rd, right behind Dallas Sullivan, who is now the leader. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen here, and Lyle Sulfridge being in 2nd.
Yeah, I'm not sure who has the advantage in row number 2, if it's Stravado or Hutton. Both those drivers with a good view of the leader and when he's going to go. Sometimes that outside lane can be really good for these restarts, you know, behind cars with older tires, but he's going to be stuck behind Lyle Sulfridge until the start-finish line at the very least. So Eric Hutton could be stuck here and maybe lose a couple spots. We'll have to see. But Dallas Sullivan in control here. Going to get going straight away.
It's really going to help Stravado, but Lyle Sulfridge is not able to get going. He's going to let everybody go down to the bottom. Hutton's able to tuck in on the bottom lane right behind Seth Hatchell. They're going to go 3 wide in the middle of 1 and 2, and Sulfridge gets out of the way. Now Dallas Sullivan is in the lead off of turn 4, or turn 2, excuse me.
Oh, Alan Dice.
Alan Dice Oh, he's around!
Oh,
Dice
no!
into the inside wall. The caution's going to come out again. And a great run from Alan Dice gets turned upside down.
Car almost went upside down there. I don't know if you saw it. He got all 4 wheels up off the ground after hitting the inside wall. Hard hit for the driver of the 5 machine, who really did have a strong race going. Going to be able to continue here, and I think regardless of what happens, he should end up above where he started the race. But man, you hate to see that. Driver having a strong night. Just one mistake here, gets up the hill, loses the back end, and could not hang on to it. That overcorrection right there, and it's big hit.
Like I said, you get the one chance to save it, and then the car just kind of just comes around after that. Once you get that second correction, very rarely do you see guys able to keep it straight. Right there, turns it to the left, and then just trying to keep it out from going onto the racing line, and just hooks left instantly and into the inside wall, lifts the back end tires up off the ground, lifts the whole car up off the ground there, and a hard hit for Alan Dice. Love the Kyle Busch font that he's got on that number 5. That's kind of cool. Being a Kyle Busch fan, I like to see it. So, just man, it sucks for Alan Dice. He was having such a great run, and just getting hopefully with this composite body, he's able to get it fixed and kind of return to the pace that he had, because he's having an awesome run.
Indeed, we'll see if he can get the damage repaired on that. A couple cars. Anybody's bringing it down pit road. Doesn't look like anyone. Moment pulling down other than Allen. So Dallas Sullivan's gonna stay your race leader here.
Oh man.
And maybe a big brain move here for him to stay out. Maybe expecting a string of cautions. You never know. I mean,
strategy.
Yeah, he's in the right place right now. Question is, can he hang on to this?
He's got a lot of laps though. 25 laps is a lot of laps to hold on, especially on old tires. So gonna be curious to see what Mr. Sullivan, if he has any tricks up his sleeves. So holding off AJ Stravado and last 2 years champion, Seth Hatchell and Angelo Ronis is going to be a tough task. So curious to see what's going to happen here. And speaking of next gen cars and short tracks, after being at the Coliseum, I know we're on a mile and a half here, but next week I think we're going to Five Flags, which is home of the Snowball Derby, if anybody's heard that. I know the short track fans have heard of that one before. So man, going to a short track, 200 laps at a very, very small half-mile short track, with these cars being able to hit each other, I'm sure I'd recommend everybody, if you think this is great, next week is going to be absolutely insane going out to Pensacola, Florida.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. I don't have a ton of experience at Five Flags, but I've driven some modifieds and Legends cars around there here on the sim. I don't think I've ever driven a stock car around there. Especially these wide next gen cars. It's going to be quite a challenge.
Oh, what we see with these cars, you know, Zach Carr having that hard hit going into turn 1 at 180 miles per hour. I would say, I think at Five Flags, I'm going to expect that the cars are maybe going to hit 130, maybe 120 at top speed. So a lot less aero dependent, as they would say, and a lot less, speed. So slower speeds means more contact, and the shorter the track. If we have the field that we have tonight at Five Flags, we are going to have a heck of a race next week. Tell you, the elbows are going to get out, the bumpers, the fenders, the tempers are going to be flaring next week. Everybody's going to be in for a show. I'd recommend tuning into that race.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. I love short track racing. It's so much fun to watch. I go to Martinsville every year, in the fall, and it's such a great trip, and the track is amazing, and NASCAR always puts on a great show at that place.
Sure.
If you haven't been to a short track to see a NASCAR race, or even just a local track race, get out and do that. It's so much fun, and I'm sure there's some type of racetrack within an hour or two that you can easily attend for not too expensive a ticket cost. So
Sure.
Always worthwhile to get out there and experience some new things if you haven't. Pace car lights are off. It's going to be at Dallas Sullivan and AJ Stravado, row 1. Seth Hatchell, Angelo Ronis, row 2. Mayato, Chris Simard in row 3. And then some other drivers, kind of wild cards up here. Lyle Sulfridge, Dennis Faircloth. We've got Josiah Vincent and Jeremy Stanley right now in 10th. But he lost a couple spots on that restart, but going to try and get him back here.
Eric Hutton, I think, went to go get that damage fixed. He is sitting in the 23rd position. Man, that is tough for Eric, leading the race before the caution came out. And now things have gone from bad to worse after losing the lead and coming out of the pits. Curious, he doesn't have many laps to recover now. He's only got 25 laps to recover if this goes green all the way, which I don't know if it will, but I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen to AJ Stravato and Dallas Sullivan on this front row. Remember, Dallas Sullivan does have older tires where AJ Stravato is on fresh Goodyears, so I'm curious to see what's going to happen here.
Yeah, but AJ with a heat cycle on him now, so you never know how they're going to react. Sometimes they could be fairly equalized. I know Dallas has probably got 2 or 3 heat cycles on those tires, so that definitely adds up pretty quickly. Can cause the car to mishandle as pace car is off. About to get going once again. Going to be 25 laps to go. Tires. Yeah, spun the tires a little bit there, did Dallas Sullivan.
AJ was able to time it about right. Didn't get the greatest jump out of it, but he was able to stay almost right with Dallas Sullivan. Is now they're side by side for the 4th position with Chris Samard and Angelo Ronis and Keith Meato, Samard's teammate, right behind him. Now a battle for the lead. Sullivan AJ Stravato a dive to the bottom, and the caution's gonna come out. Oh, big wreck on the backstretch. Oh, Eric Hutton is in it.
Oh my goodness. One of the most dominant drivers here tonight caught up. You never really want to get yourself too far back in these packs. You never know what can break out, and you're at the mercy of those around you. But Eric Hutton, as you said, tonight going from bad to worse, and now about as bad as it can get. Racing alongside the 95. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Jeremy Clapper Newell just, wow, yeah. Turned left on the straightaway and hooked him.
And for Zach Smith.
Oh, man.
2 hard hits in a row for Alan Dice. He's going to be done for the day, I believe. Zach Smith also collected in that one. I think he just barely missed he was involved in an earlier wreck with Robert Gilmore. As, yeah, you can see just up in front of him, nowhere to go.
Yeah, just track blocker almost.
Yeah.
And then Alan Dice just right into the back air, kind of trying to miss that wreck.
Oh, tried to shoot the gap. Yeah.
The hole was there, and just misjudged it a little bit, and hard hit the inside wall for Dice and Eric Hutton. And Eric Hutton, who's having such a promising day, leading a lot of laps, just like one of his teammates, Zach Carr. 2 dominant cars of the day, just into wrecks. So, you know, I tell you, this race has been absolutely wild. These guys have been the fastest cars. Have been having problems, having issues, and just wow, man, it's crazy stuff going on here.
I don't know what happened here to cause the 95 to go down the hill like that. I mean,
plenty of room on the top. I hope he wasn't trying to turn him. I don't know if he meant to do that, but in a situation like that on the straightaway, I really hope he wasn't trying to turn Hutton, but that just looked odd. I don't know if we want to take another look at it and go maybe on board with the 95, but just I don't see any reason to just turn straight left on him. Maybe it was a misjudgment on where he thought the 88 was, but yeah, I don't know what's going on that one.
Yeah, and Eric Hutton had closed up tremendously through that previous corner here. I mean, you can see he is 2-3 car lengths back, able to send it down in, fresh tires on that car, and got underneath him, kept the car alongside, and then probably expected the 95 to at least come up the hill to the traditional racing line up there, and that was not the case. Chaos ensuing once again in this one, under 25 to go. Huge hits by many drivers. The 95 able to drive away. I believe Hutton able to drive away possibly, but he's sitting on pit road getting that damage fixed, and I think just barely going to beat the pace car off of pit road, but might be close there.
Yeah, I don't know. Odd situation happening there. Just tough luck for Eric Hutton there, and I'm telling you, Dallas Sullivan. Let me tell you, if this race continues to be under caution, he is sitting in the catbird seat right now in the lead, and if not, we'll keep good track position as long as I'm thinking he's hoping that this race continues to stay like it has been with these cautions flowing. This could be a big strategy, and if Dallas Sullivan was able to win this race, I couldn't imagine the party that would happen if he did win this race.
Oh, there'd be a big party, that is for
Yeah.
sure. Dallas has been looking for a win here for quite some time, and he's had some very impressive runs at times. It just has not found victory lane. He's had strategy races, though, where he's put himself, up there towards winning position, and things just didn't quite go, as he expected. But right now, he's been pretty solid throughout this race. He's had the one issue where he slid up to the wall, but, I mean, almost everyone has made that same exact mistake here tonight, so can't blame him or fault him for that. But, yeah, I mean, he's got his car right where it needs to be for the moment, and he's made 6 pit stops in this race, which is twice as many as anybody else in the top 7, and he's up here leading.
There's nothing better than a clear view of the windshield out in front of you, but I will say AJ Stravato being on those fresh tires as pace car lights go off and we'll double them up here, but I tell you, off of turn 2, AJ did have a run, and he was going to get under him. It would have been curious to see if Dallas was able to hold on to the top spot and trying to fend off AJ Stravato, but I think if he can time his restarts right, get in front, and try to build a little bit of a gap. I think Dallas's big thing is he has the old tires. He needs cautions to just keep coming out. And if he can get it down to a 2-lap restart, maybe he could try to hold AJ Stravato, try to hold him off, and as well as Seth Hatchell and everybody else behind Hatchell. But I know if it does come down to the end and we get a late race restart, I know that these guys probably aren't going to be too hesitant to get a little physical and start using the bumpers here.
Yeah, we've already seen drivers do that. Timmy Emanuele and it was Kevin McGarvey. Oh man, that was close, but they kept on racing it out, and that was going to be another. That battle was going to continue on, but cautions breaking into things here. We've had 10 so far. We had a nice long run in the middle of this race. It's been kind of bound by cautions on both sides of that, though. We started off the race with a bunch in a row and getting a few here in the latter stages of this race, but Dallas Sullivan going to get us going, going to try and get a better jump. AJ timed it well again, but Dallas able to get through the gears a little bit better than he did the last time, still just a couple car lengths in front of AJ Stravato, so AJ doing exactly what he needs to do to stay in contention here and try and get that race lead.
For sure. What will Stravato do as they go into 3? It doesn't seem like he has a big enough run to take anything yet. As you can see, Hatchell cut right up in front of Angelo Ronis, and Ronis will start right behind the 8. And now Chris Martinez, Dennis Fairclough, loose on the bottom, able to save it. Great save by Dennis.
Oh, Josiah Vincent!
Into the wall! A big wreck on the front stretch. The 71 hard into the outside wall. They wreck on the infield.
Oh my goodness. Dennis Faircloth maybe wishes he hadn't saved that one, because they came right down the track into him. And what went from a car that had no damage now got quite a bit on the front of that Toyota Camry. Let's go back and take a look here. How this all started with the 80 going down the racetrack right in front of Zach Carr. They were racing it up here. Zach just inside or just outside the top 10. But the 80 in front of Zach Carr, I think probably just, loses the back end like we've seen. Had a Tokyo Drift style, kept it down there in the apron, and really good job. And then,
hooked it, and then, the 71 got clipped, and the 71 took a hard hit. Driver's side.
Same mistake for Josiah Vincent, then just lost it on the full exit of the corner, and big hit for the 42, down into the 80. The 77 gets a piece of it.
The 19 to the 71, and guys just sliding across that infield. And man, I think I was Lane Sofridge had a massive hit. We'll probably see it here with the blimp cam, but just wow, a big wreck and playing into Dallas Sullivan's hands here, as you can see. Just,
my goodness!
Hard hit on that right side.
He was up on two wheels.
Yeah. Left side came off the ground there. Just hard, bad angle to hit there, and with such a wide straight, it really can't stop with the speed that you're going here. And I think that was about a 6-7 car wreck. And we talked about it for Dallas Sullivan. The cautions are playing right into his hands. Oh, man.
Oh,
Oh,
man,
hard hit.
that shows you
And-
how much chaos there was all the way down to the 42, nearly getting on the pit lane there, and huge hits for both Josiah Vincent and the 71 machine of Lane Sulfridge, as well as a few others getting collected there. But Dennis Faircloth went from an incredible save to just getting caught up in that one. So unlucky for him. A great drive so far tonight. Going to be a bit hurt by that, but he's still able to continue, I believe. Right now, outside the top 20 on pit road. Laps are winding down, though, and Dallas Sullivan...
Sullivan, man. I'm sure AJ Stravado, he's getting annoyed with these cautions coming out because he feels like he probably has... He has what he knows he can pass the 46 car, but Dallas Sullivan's strategy, man, it is paying off at the moment. If these cautions keep coming out, Dallas Sullivan is going to be looking in a really good spot. And if he can hold AJ Stravado, if this comes down to a green-white checker, if he can hold AJ off for the win, it would be absolutely wild to just a wild race. An absolute amazing ending to a wild race here. But again, Dallas Sullivan, he is having a heck of a run. And wow, like I said, it would be an insane win, and the party would be absolutely amazing if Dallas Sullivan was able to cap it off with the win here tonight at Kentucky. But he's got a few hungry drivers right behind him, and I tell you, his job's going to get harder and harder as these laps start winding down. And it seems like AJ has been able to kind of time his starts, not exactly, but time them well to where he's not losing a ton. And I'm sure Dallas is going to need to kind of maybe start changing it up a little bit, making him wait longer, maybe making him wait a little bit less, and try to play with AJ on the restarts here.
I'm going to put some things in perspective for you here, Alec. You got Dallas Sullivan out in front. He has not won a race yet in this league between either the Xfinity or the Cup Series. He's come close a few times, but the three cars behind him have 40 total wins in this league. And that just puts it in perspective. Those guys are the guys to beat. Seth Hatchell, the past two-time champion, and right before him, it was AJ Stravado. Keith Mayato probably would have won the championship last season had he not missed a race in the second to last round of the playoffs. He ended up winning the finale race over Seth Hatchell. And so Mayato has been one of the winningest drivers here. He's actually the second most winningest driver in league history, right behind AJ Stravado, and then Hatchell right down there. He's about fourth in terms of overall wins. So, man, Dallas Sullivan has got a lot to hold off right here.
He really does, and I'll tell you, like I said, it'd be a massive win for Dallas Sullivan to hold off these guys. So, wow, I did not know that stat. So that is a little bit of trouble for Dallas. But let me tell you, Dallas is going to fight to the end to try to get this first win. Oh, sounds like we got a little more trouble. Eric Hutton and the 95 of Jeremy Clapper Newell are still going at it. I don't know why.
Well, side by side on the racetrack right now, they'll be restarting right next to each other. So it may not be over yet for these two. Or, I mean, we might see some fireworks after the checkered flag flies, if not sooner. But I'm sure Eric trying to just get the best finish he can. He still could get a top 15, which is crazy to say with the hit that he took. But right there in 16th. So.
It is a possibility here. Coming into the restart here, I'm curious what the fans are wondering. How we think this is going to turn out? I'm getting curious here. This could get a little wild, could get a little crazy, and never know. These front runners, like we said, 40 wins between the guys from second to fourth. So Dallas Sullivan has his work cut out for him, and it's going to get a little wild, let me tell you.
Yeah, a lot of these drivers in the top 10 do not have career wins here in the below the double yellow racing league, but a few of them have a lot of wins. So that is the challenge tonight. Tire spin from Dallas Sullivan, but good launch.
Restart. Good restart. He's going to get the guys behind him racing side by side as Stravado just able to clear off the nose of the 8. And now the 36 is on the outside of the 8 car. Can Sullivan hold the 33 off? He gets loose off the corner. Stravato looks to the inside. Can Sullivan? There's contact! Sullivan up the track along with Miato.
Oh boy, that is.
Stravato gets the lead.
Oh, Dallas is going to have a run here. He might be able to stay alongside Seth Hatchell, but I think that might be it for the 46 and his opportunity to win. Here comes Angelo Ronas going to try and take the third position away. Oh, man, but a little contact, yeah, like you said, down into turn 3.
Behind them. Gemmel saves it, but now there's contact for the 7th position. Hatchell underneath Stravato for the win. Or for the lead, I should say. Possibly the win.
Oh, Dallas is loose. Jeremiah Vincent up the racetrack. Almost catches the wall.
3 wide. Able to get it sorted out. Samard able to clear all of these guys. Angelo Ronas, the big loser in that situation, gets loose in the middle of 3 and 4. And now Zach Carr is on his back bumper, and Dallas Sullivan, now he's next to him. Wow.
Stravato able to get the lead away from Dallas Sullivan, but here is Seth Hatchell. He is right there. These two have been pretty close all night. And week in and week out, these guys always. Oh, Samard losing it.
Into the 60, and Vincent slides to the grass.
Oh man, these guys are pushing so hard right now, and they just keep overstepping the line. And
Jeremy Stanley was in that one as well.
Pretty good hit on the left side of the 60 machine. Back bumper with some damage. Not what you want to see late in the going here. Still going to keep the track position, but yeah, Samard with the mistake. Let's go back and take a look. Samard, who was running in 4th, I believe, at the time, actually challenging his teammate for 3rd. Loses the race car there.
It's loose. Yeah, it just gets loose under him there, and tried to keep it down there and try to save it at the same time, and it just hooked on him and into the 60, and then Jeremiah Vincent an evasive action down to the infield. Just, man.
Almost had it here and just a little over corrected, and then oh man.
Good job by Jeremy, able to keep it out of the wall there. So, but man, that.
Yeah, close call for Jeremiah Vincent, but yeah, Jeremy. Yeah, he got a piece of that one for sure, and I think he did take it down pit road, possibly.
Yeah, Jeremy Stanley did take it down pit road there and getting that left front damage fixed. So, how about Lyle Solfridge able to keep it up in the inside the top 10? Miles Morse running in 11. Ryan Gimmel running in the top 10 as well. So these guys all starting to close up a little bit. Kenny Bishop, haven't really talked about him. He's running in 12th. And just, you know, a lot of things have transpired in this race from the beginning and to currently where we are, inside 10 to go. The question is, what can Seth Hatchell do with AJ Stravato now, where Stravato is going to be in control of these restarts here? So I'm curious to see if Hatchell, last year's champion or two-time champion of the past 2 years or seasons, of what he can do. So.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. Hatchell going to put a lot of pressure on the 33. They have battled for so many wins, along with Keith Miato. Those three, some of the winningest over the last 2 seasons. I think I couldn't tell you the total for the last 2 seasons, but it's got to be close to 20 wins amongst those 3. So very, very successful, those drivers. So going to be interesting to see what they can do. I'm a little surprised Dallas Sullivan didn't take it down pit road here, maybe get some fresh tires and have a little advantage over these guys. But maybe he feels comfortable enough to stay up here in the top 5 and try and muster whatever kind of finish he can get.
I mean, yeah, being in 4th, I mean, he's played a great strategy. I think last they say the bet has been made almost. So, I mean, I think he's honestly good where he's at. I don't feel like he'd probably, he might not lose many more spots. He could and he couldn't. So, but I'll give it to Dallas. He's been able to hold on quite strong. And Zach Carr as well, right behind him, a great recovery after getting turned to the outside wall in 6th. So, you know, a lot of great recoveries and a lot of feel good stories, I should say, inside the top 10 here.
Ryan Gemmel also making a recovery here. Remember, he got collected in something very early on He's back in the top 10. He's got quite a bit of right side damage on that race car, but powering through up here in the top 10. Reggie Ortega, who's kind of been through it all as well. He's in 8th. Miles Morse, who was involved in the lap 1 wreck along with Ryan Gemmel, he's right here at 11th. These two guys have worked their way back up through, and Miles actually got, he was in that 4 wide accident as well. So very, very impressive that he's been able to stay out here and gain as many positions back as he has.
Indeed.
But we are far from over. AJ Stravato going to be hoping that, hopefully it stays green, and we haven't seen the trouble for these leaders in these, top 5 that we've seen throughout the race, and he can just, run clean race to the end. But Hatchell, Mayato, Ronas, Sullivan, the top 5, Zach Carr in 6th. Those are going to be your first 3 rows. All kinds of stories tonight. Let's see who comes home with the checkered flag.
Curious to see if Seth Hatchell can time the restart like he needs to. So that's going to be the real question. If Hatchell can time it like he needs to, stay within striking distance to Stravato, and any mistake that Stravato might make, Hatchell can be right there able to pounce. So I'm curious to see how this is going to happen. So I'm looking forward to this. What is it going to be, 6-7 lap shootout?
Yeah, it should be 7 laps to go when we get back around here to the green flag. It's going to be AJ Stravato, Seth Hatchell leading the way. Stravato has been so good on these restarts. Seth is going to have to be at the very top of his game right here to keep up and not let Mayato in there to take second away.
That is very true.
Going to be 7 laps to go. Stravato, pace car is off. He's going to get going straight away. Didn't waste any time.
Not able to clear Mayato yet. Now Mayato, they're going to be side by side, just what AJ Stravato wants. Now Mayato's going to be able to clear Seth Hatchell, and Angelo Ronis is going to tuck into the 3rd spot, or 4th spot. Now they're side by side for 3rd, but now the battle for the lead. Keith Mayato looks low. Stravato throws a block.
Oh, and these guys got into it last week at Milwaukee. Contact behind.
Ronis and Hatchell get into it, and Zach Carr is going to go to 3rd. Ortega looks under the 22 car. Oh my goodness, Hatchell's tight squeeze with Jeremiah Vincent.
Oh, and Seth Hatchell not going to be happy. I mean, he restarted 2nd, right? And he is all the way back now to 7th with really no opportunity to win unless something happens up here amongst the leaders. But Keith Mayato's found his way to 2nd. He's trying to get along to the outside of AJ Stravato.
4 wide off of 4. Able to get it situated out. Hatchell, Vincent, and Sullivan. Hatchell, the meat of the sandwich.
Oh, this is scary.
Tight up here. Vincent's going to go wide here. They're still going to be 3 wide through the middle of the corner. Now back to 2 wide with Hatchell and Sullivan. Vincent up to the top 5. The battle for the lead rages on. Mayato goes wide. He's able to keep his foot in it. They're going to be side by side for the lead.
What a run by Mayato. That's incredible. He just put his foot to the floor. He's going to have the lead for the moment. Nose out in front of Stravato. These two got together last week at Milwaukee. May have cost Stravato the win.
Sullivan loose to the back. Now they're side by side running tight. Little contact down the backstretch. More contact into 3. Mayato gets shoved wide up the track.
That may be
still fighting him.
That may be payback a little bit from last week as Stravato takes the lead back away. Here we go.
Mayato's gonna pull him back here. He's able to get to that corner. Now they're side by side. 3 to go here from Kentucky.
Oh my
These
goodness.
guys are gonna leave it all out on the line here. Stravato's gonna try to arc him out in the corner, and the caution's out.
Who had the lead?
Who had the lead?
I think Stravato.
Stravato had it. And the caution's gonna come out for
The 28, I believe. Dennis Steele. Let's get back up to speed here. Yeah, I think Dennis Steele. Let's go take a look.
Oh, hard hit. And then, ooh. Man, down here as we can see. He has a 77 to Kevin McGarvey right there, and you can see going into the corner, back and just steps out, tries to keep it up. Oh man, tries to keep it off McGarvey, and then comes back down the track and almost hits the 19 and the 19 and I believe that's the 95, Jeremy Clapper Newell as well. Just stopping by.
Oh, huge hit though. Another massive victim of the oversteer, or the overcorrection rather. Dennis Steele taking a hard hit to the outside barrier there in turn 1 and 2. So he will go to the back of the lead lap here. Still 21st, still on the racetrack somehow. Has not pit in 31 laps, and you know he's been up and down through the field tonight. Got to commend him for still being out here, but surprised that car is still running.
Here's the scene now. We're gonna have a green-white checkered. AJ is in the lead, but he also has his teammate of Reggie Ortega, and I guarantee you AJ is probably going to give him a little bit of a countdown, possibly. They're in the same team channel, and I guarantee you that Keith Miato is going to be in a bad situation here when they go green.
I'm getting a notification here. It's saying final lap. Are we in a situation where the admins maybe made a mistake and there's no green-white checkers enabled? I don't know. Are you hearing anything from the drivers or the chat?
I'm not hearing anything. I'm not hearing anything yet. I think Nick Starling is in here. So, yeah. What's going on here, Nick? I don't know. I think the pace car lights would have went off if that was the case.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I don't know. I'm just confused. It says final lap on my screen, but it may just be something with one of the more recent updates possibly, but we'll see when they come across it.
That is the race.
Oh my gosh, so it was decided by inches at the time of the caution.
Wow.
That could have easily gone to Keith Miato. I thought he had the nose ahead, but AJ Stravato
on the scoring loops.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. AJ Stravato is going to win the race.
AJ Stravato going to win another one, the all-time winningest driver. Going to take another victory tonight here at Kentucky. What a finish. It came down to inches at the time of the yellow flag, and AJ Stravato just out in front of Keith Miato, who's the second all-time winningest driver. He's going to come up just one spot short here tonight, but AJ getting tapped from the two of Reggie Ortega. There is Zach Carr, congratulatory bump. Zach ended up in 6th tonight after all of that stuff that went down with him. That's incredible recovery. How about Reggie Ortega finishing in 3rd? Reggie, back-to-back podium finishes here over the last 2 weeks.
You'd love to see it. Wow. What a race, though. I want to go back after we're done here on that battle for the lead off of turn 2, and I want to see the margin of victory that AJ might have won by going into 3. So, wow.
If we can actually go back and find that. Another minute here. Right. So, right before this, if we can go on board with Keith Miato to the nose cam. Slow motion, we'll see when the yellow lights come on. Seen him yet.
He is clearly out front, but going back to the scoring loop that we have, I think it's in the middle of turn 1 and 2. I'm trying to think of where the caution might have came out. Wow.
Go full speed here. This is side by side. This was the lap before, and Miato was definitely ahead on the backstretch. So I'm very confused. It must have been, somewhere coming out of turn number 2, right around here.
I don't know, man.
I really don't know where it is either. But Miato clearly ahead. Oh, but AJ just pulling him back here.
The scoring loop that it would have went off of would have been the one in the middle of turn 3 and 4, or the one that's off of turn 2 like, it's not in the middle of turn 2, but it's right almost there. Trying to
Yeah,
look
trying
at
to.
the
This
signs.
looks like it should be the lap
Right
here.
at the Quaker State sign is where the scoring loop is. In turn 2.
Okay.
So I don't know if we want to base it off that, but the scoring loop in the Quaker State sign off of turn 2 is the scoring loop that iRacing is taking off of. So I don't know if we want to maybe try to get a little bit of a picture of where the scoring loop is in the middle of turn 3 middle of turn 1 and 2.
Yeah, we're not seeing the caution lights either, so it's going to be really hard to tell. But
About right here is where that Quaker State sign right there off the wall is where the scoring loop is. And the next scoring loop is in the middle of turn 3 and 4. And in that scoring loop, the 33 car was ahead of the 36. But down the backstretch, Miata was able to keep the momentum down the back, and was able to keep it. So if we want to go back here and go back a little bit here to the Quaker State sign, 1 and 2.
see if we can get a good view of this. Right around
Here.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, there it is.
AJ clearly out in front. So congratulations to AJ Stravato for just getting the nose out in front here and winning tonight's race. Let's pull him up into the booth and talk to him about that crazy finish, that racing there at the end. So exciting tonight. Pull him in first. AJ Stravato, Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, man, you won it by just a nose here tonight at the scoring loop. You were out in front of Keith Miato. You start 11th and, up and down in tonight's race. 13 laps led and out in front for the most important one here tonight. Congrats on the win, and how are you feeling?
God bless me with that one, man. I thought I was in trouble. I had no short run pace whatsoever. I just haven't figured out the limit on the cold tires and how these cars act, and it's very obvious, I think. So I'd always lose a couple spots, especially on the start. So when I saw those cautions continuously coming out when I knew I had fresher tires than Dallas, I was starting to get pretty annoyed. So I was just glad that I somehow was able to hold off Keith. That was I didn't think he was going to make that outside work. I know the outside, if you really get to somebody's outside and pinch somebody down, if you have a run, you can get a run and make it work, and he definitely did. And I blessed with the scoring loop. That's the only thing I can think of, because I mean I was looking forward to that last lap, like couple laps battle, but I guess I'll take a win when I can get it. Especially tonight, I didn't feel like my pace was where it could have been. I had to really rely on saving tires and long run speed, which I'll take, but I'd like to have a little bit more pace on the short run. But good to win, and my teammates had a really good run as well, so I'm pretty happy about that.
Seems you always find victories in different ways here in this league, and continuing to extend that all-time wins record, now up to 22 overall wins in the league here. Just domination over the last few seasons. You've been one of the guys to beat for sure each and every week. You take the victory tonight at Kentucky. We go to Five Flags next week. How do you feel about going out there?
As long as we survive, we'll be all right. That's going to be really interesting next week with how these cars are really kind of sensitive with your steering and braking inputs, and Five Flags being so bumpy. So looking forward to it, though. Short tracks are always, one of my weaker suits. So as long as I can work on that and figure something out. Any laps in this next gen car, I haven't been running as much oval stuff, I feel like, recently. I've been running more road stuff, so any laps I can get in this next gen car is valuable. So look forward to next week. Hopefully we can learn a little bit of stuff we can carry forward.
Awesome, AJ. Well, congrats on the win here tonight. You lead 13 laps after starting in 11th. Take the victory here tonight. Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Just all the league sponsors, Martin Sports, yourself, and V-Speed, and Alec for doing a good job in the booth. These are always fun to watch afterwards. All my teammates, Zach, Angelo, Jeremiah, Josiah, Sulfridges, and all the guys, and Eric, man, he had a really good run. I was having a lot of fun battling him. It's I don't know what happened to him, but it's a shame it happened. And all the league admins and sponsors, it's a lot of fun coming here every week and putting on some good racing. And this next gen car isn't as bad as I thought it'd be, so just looking forward to continuously learning and having some fun.
Awesome, AJ. Well, congrats again. Go celebrate with the team, and 2 wins this season. You're going to take that points lead for yourself here tonight, and looking forward to next week.
Hell yeah, brother. We'll take it.
All right.
Congrats, man.
Yes, sir.
AJ Servato race winner here tonight. Let's go to second place finisher. That is Keith Mayato. And Alec, I believe you're with him.
Oh, yes, sir, we are. Keith Mayato, Alec Martinez, Adam Baker in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
10-4.
Yes, sir, man. Just barely lost it on that scoring loop off of turn 2. 32 was just out in front, man. Solid, quiet, and almost got that win. Take us through what happened through those last few laps in that last restart.
Just go after AJ as best as I can. I knew the outside was working, so I was gonna just stay out there. The scoring loop, I was wondering too, because I'm like, man, I'm ahead of him. I'm like, how did you get the spot? And when I saw that, and then especially when I knew there was no more green white check, it was kind of disappointing. But it was a good battle. It was definitely a good battle.
Yes, it was. And did you think if we had that green white checker, do you think you would have maybe had a shot at AJ and maybe used the bumper on him if he had gotten out just in the front going into 3?
Have a shot at him? Probably not, because the outside didn't seem to work, especially because I wouldn't have been able to see AJ take off. Laid a bumper to him? No, I already did that to him last week, and I think he's had enough of that with me. So I'm gonna try to do my best not to race him that way.
For sure, man. And before we let you go, next week we go to Five Flags, and obviously we know the bumper short track racing. It's kind of a great combo. How do you feel about going out there next weekend to Pensacola?
I'm hoping it's gonna be a fun race. I'm hoping it's not gonna be full of cautions, but I think track position's probably gonna be pretty key for next week. And yeah, hopefully, if you got to lay the bumper to someone, it's intentional. It's not an accident, right? That's the whole thing that we hope for. But yeah, I haven't had too much practice with that track other than like a late model, so it's going to be interesting to put this car on there.
For sure, man. And before we let you go here and celebrate your second place finish, anybody want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, shout out to Butts Mobile Home Park for sponsoring the race tonight. Yourself and Adam for doing an awesome job with the V-Speed broadcast. All my V-Speed teammates for helping out, hosting practice sessions, and and everyone for a great race. And congrats to AJ there for a good win.
For sure, man. Well, we congratulations again on your second place finish, and look forward to seeing you next week at Five Flags.
Sounds good. Thanks, Alec.
Problem, man. Have a good one.
Mayato, second place finisher. Let's now go to third place, Reggie Ortega, who is coming off of back-to-back now podium finishes. Reggie Ortega, Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got me.
Yes, sir.
Well, Reggie, another great finish here tonight, and it wasn't all easy. You had some struggles here along with so many other drivers tonight, but man, resilience once again. You work your way back up into the top 3, and that's where things closed out for you. Describe your race tonight.
Oh man, this is one that I felt like definitely got away from me. I felt so good after I figured out turn 3 and 4. I was struggling there. 1 and 2 I was really good. I was so comfortable with that corner, but 3 and 4 I was struggled, and finally figured it out. And when I did, I was able to catch up to the pack there. That when we had a 5-car battle for the lead, but man, I don't know what it was. We had a caution, and took tires, went out, and for some reason the car was just completely different, and so it caused me to almost wreck a few times there. And man, I did not think that I was gonna be back in this position. I mean, third place, I'll take it, but I definitely felt like I gave that win away after the mistakes that I made.
Yeah, I know Alec was saying that he saw you coming. You were working your way forward, and very impressive with some of the moves and passes you were making out there. So the effort didn't go unrecognized. We saw you were out there really putting on a good show, and a really exciting race tonight here at Kentucky. It was a little different than what we were expecting, but next week is setting up to be pretty exciting as well. We go to Five Flags. How do you feel about going out there?
Five Flags. I really do like that track. Short track is definitely short tracks are my favorite, and Five Flags, I don't know what it's going to be like with the new car. I could tell people are struggling with it still. But I don't know. I really do like this car, and I like that track. So I'm trying to get as much practice as I can and see what I can do.
Awesome, Reggie. We'll see if you can collect a victory there. You've been knocking on the door these last 2 races now, and I think it's coming here pretty soon. So great drive tonight. You start 9th, you finish in 3rd, right up here on the podium for the 2nd week in a row. Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, definitely the team, LDR. You know, like I said, every single time, man, great group of guys there. Learned so much from them, and we're able to bounce back up, situations like this. But yeah, Burnalytics as well. I don't know if you guys ever heard of them, but burnalytics.com, check them out. Definitely help you place your bets and stuff like that for the races. And you guys, man, VSP for putting on a great broadcast.
Awesome, Reggie. Well, way to bring the Virtual Racing League machine back up on the podium here, and cool to hear the shout out last night on the Monday Night Racing League Championship by Adam Cabot, one of the drivers over there. Yeah. Hoping to see you guys get back in action here soon. So congrats again.
Soon.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. Great talent over there. And
oh yeah, for sure.
It's definitely, it's shown people are going places. So congrats again on the great finish here tonight, Reggie. See you next week at Five Flags.
Definitely. Thank you, guys.
And it's 3rd place finisher Reggie Ortega, and great recovery from him. A lot of great drives here tonight. We'll go through the rest of our results right now. Led by AJ Stravato after surviving 13 cautions, 8 total lead changes. AJ Stravato just edges out Keith Mayato for the victory there in the closing laps as the caution fell. So Stravato takes the win, his 2nd of the season, and now takes sole possession of the top spot in the championship standings. Keith Mayato comes home in 2nd, his best finish of the season. Reggie Ortega finishes in the 3rd position. Seth Hatchell comes home 4th. Jeremiah Vincent, who had a great recovery here, he comes home in 5th. Zach Carr, also fantastic drive back towards the front, comes home in the 6th position. Ryan Gemmel finishes in 7th. Angelo Ronas, 8th spot. Lyle Solfridge, potentially his best run in recent memory, comes home in 9th position after starting out in the 20th spot. And Dallas Sullivan hangs on to finish in 10th.
Miles Morris is going to bring her home in 11th. Kenny Bishop in 12th. Jeremy Stanley, a disappointing finish to a great run tonight. And I'm sure we'll see him back up at the front in the upcoming races, and he'll bring her home in 13th. Dennis Faircloth will bring her home in 14th. Kevin McGarvey in 15th. Chris Samard had a good run as well. Got caught up in an accident and brings her home in 16th. Jeremy Clapper Newell in 17th. Kevin McGarvey in 18th. Eric Hutton, who led a lot of laps today and caught up in an unfortunate situation, and I'm sure we'll see him as well back up to the front and contending for wins for the rest of the season. We'll bring her home in 19th. And Lane Solfridge will round out your top 20.
21st was Dennis Steele. 22nd, Eric Lambert. 23rd, Zach Smith. 24th, Josiah Vincent. 25th, Scott Martin. 26th, Alan Dice. 27th, Timmy Emanuele. 28th, Dustin Logston. 29th, Thomas Brendel. And rounding out the top 30 tonight, James Loveland. 31st was Robert Gilmore. And Eric Gallion comes home 32nd here tonight after not actually taking the green flag. So 31 starters in tonight's race. And AJ Stravato came home with the win. So congrats to him on his 2nd victory in the first 3 races this season. Going to be a tough competitor for the championship once again here in Season 5. So looking forward to so many more races to come. But Alec, any final thoughts before we head out?
Yeah. Again, congrats to AJ Stravato on that win. And also, like you said, you mentioned while interviewing Reggie Ortega, congrats to Adam Cabot. I've known him for a while, and congrats to him on winning the Monday Night Racing Championship last night. So cool to see somebody I've raced with and somebody I've raced with and competed with for a while win something. And again, back to this, a great race, and I had a few cautions. But also, we had a little bit of green flag racing. This next gen car, it puts it back in the driver's hands from what I can tell, and that's good for us fans, and that's good for the drivers, and showcasing who has the talent at what tracks. And it makes me excited for the rest of the season, being able to race in it and also broadcast it as well. So, again, thank you for having me up here, Adam, and I hope the fans enjoyed. And I cannot wait for next Tuesday at Five Flags. That race is going to be absolutely wild. Tempers are going to flare. There's going to be bumping. They're going to be hitting each other. It's It's going to be like the Coliseum, a little bit bigger though, and you're going to see a lot of tempers flaring, a lot of angry drivers. But I'm looking forward to having some good racing next week as we go out to Pensacola.
Yeah, me too. I love the short track scene, and it's going to be a lot of fun to see these next-gen cars out there. It's such a different track than what we're accustomed to seeing NASCAR go to. But yeah, fantastic race tonight. Looking forward to so much more. If you enjoyed the broadcast, make sure to follow on the social media links that you see on the screen. You can also learn more about the sponsors of tonight's race, Butts Mobile Home Park, as well as Martin Sports, the series sponsor, down in the description of the video below. You can check them out there, as well as a few other sponsors. We do want to thank all of you for coming out tonight. Hope you enjoyed. We'll catch you on Thursday with the BMW Car Club of America from Sonoma. You're not going to want to miss that one. That should be a great race as well. So thank you so much. Thank you, Alec. And
oh, thank you.
And we will catch you all next time.